Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello.
Test, test. Mic check.
Hello,
Test,
hello,
test.
hello.
9 o'clock. We're at 9.
9. I'm at about 11.
9 and 11.
Yeah, 9 and 11. Hello.
Hello,
1,
hello.
2. I'm maybe just a little hot. We'll turn that down just a titch. Maybe him down just a titch. Back to the phone.
Put us where you want it.
You bet.
Test, test, test. Test, test. Hello, hello. We good?
And we say good evening from the Mace Ice Arena. It is time for high school hockey. Tonight, the Watertown Lakers take on the Rushmore Thunder, who made the trip across the state to take on Watertown for a weekend series tonight and tomorrow night. And then they go to Huron. They'll play to wrap up a weekend series on Sunday afternoon. We, of course, have for you in our pregame show. Trav's Outfitter bring you the pregame show. And the coach's comments brought to you by Deutsch Excavating. Let's get a coach in here, of course, Evan Witt. Interesting matchup. What kind of a week of practice have you had?
You know, we had a really good week of practice this week. We kind of did things a little different, kind of breaking out the varsity guys from the JV guys. Two different things that we need to work on. So really we're working on, kind of tightening up our systems, because when we do our systems and we do them right, and not that we have big complicated systems, but once we can be real disciplined on that, we've proven that we can be competitive with any team. So we've just kind of tightened things up a little bit, tightened the ship up a little bit, and had a good week. And so looking forward to a couple of tough matchups against Rapid City, and if we can come out and be competitive with them, we know we're going down the right track anyways. So.
Okay, well, you played Brookings a little over a week ago, and you went down there and shut them out for a period and a half, which not many teams have done this year. So you can play with anybody.
Yeah, that kind of goes down to, if we're running our system and we're doing what we have, we can be competitive with these teams, and we've shown that. It's tough on a team like Brookings. I mean, when we're running those systems hard, it takes a lot of gas to do that.
Yeah.
And then it's one of those, we were talking too about we need to, make sure that if a goal goes in, that we don't just stop, and that it's easy to do. These are young men that, that there's always that mental side of it too. And sometimes, we got a big old barrier back there in Owen McBride, and when that gets cracked, we can't just give up on it, and sometimes I think that happens. It's like, oh God, Owen let one in, so now we're not going to win for sure. But Owen, he does such a good job. I think sometimes we rely on him too much, and that's not fair to him. So that's what I kind of tell these guys. If something goes in, we got to go and battle back for him, because he's been doing his part for us. So.
You really have to be a coach. You have to be a cheerleader. You got to do so many things when you're on the bench, don't you?
Oh yeah. There's a lot of hats that we wear, and some are funner to wear than others. Let me tell you.
You said comparing Brookings a little bit to Rushmore. You haven't played Rushmore yet this year, but you thought you matched up better with Rushmore than you probably do Brookings.
Yeah, I think Brookings just, Rushmore is a team. I mean, they're skilled, but they're a little more physical team. I would say they're not maybe as tactile as Brookings is. Where Brookings will have a tendency to really pick you apart. Where Rapid's going to come. I mean, they're good, strong. They're going to be fast and physical. Which, like I said, I think that reads into our game a little bit better. So hopefully, hopefully I'm right.
That doesn't happen very often. That's another thing you never know if you're as a coach. You don't know. You never know if you're right.
Yeah, absolutely. But just on paper, I think we had a little bit more success against Rapid last year. Again, it's just more kind of the style of their game. Like I said, Brookings is really patient, and like I said, they'll pick you apart and wear you down. And Rushmore is more of they're going to go after you. So if you can kind of stop them, hopefully we put them on their heels like other teams do us when we go that hard. So.
Well, the one key, of course, that you have to do is stay out of the penalty box. And
Absolutely, and we've done a lot better the last few weeks. Again, that comes down to discipline and doing the right things. If you're doing your job and you're in position, you don't put yourself in a position to take penalties. The kids, heads are better, so some of the really stupid penalties, we've cut down on those, and they're going to happen from time to time out of frustration. But the kids have gotten better about controlling their emotions, and that's that's one of those other hats.
Is that something that can be coached? When you get a team that, and like you said, they're high school kids and so forth, when they kind of lose their composure at times, can you coach that to the kids, or is that like a process?
I think it's a process. And it's kind of the whole village theory, right? And it's one of those. It starts at home, it starts at school, it starts at the rink, it starts at support, all the way around. Just making sure that that's not acceptable, and making sure when it happens that there's accountability that's taken, and that you handle it and you move forward from it. So,
and I think that's a good way to think about it, because you're building young men after hockey also, right? So it has to be. You keep your head on the ice, and you keep your head at home and in school. I think that's a great approach.
Yeah, well, and absolutely. And the other thing I think it's really easy to forget about. It's easy to focus on the punishment, and the kid can't do that and punish. But these are all good kids. I've been around most of these kids over the last 2 years, and there's not one of them that I would say is a bad kid. Now, do they make bad decisions, things like that? Absolutely. Yeah. So when stuff like that happens, you really have to break it down. Why is it happening? And again, it goes back to how many hats you wear, kind of deal. Yep. But the last thing you want to do is just punish something and just roll on and move on. You got to figure out what's the root cause, and move on. But teachers, parents deal with that every day. So.
Right.
Well, and we have to remember sometimes they're 16, 17, 18-year-olds too.
Yep. There's going to be mistakes made all the way around. So it's just how you handle it. And like I said, the big thing, we've seen a lot of improvement over the last month and a half, and that's all you can ask for.
Well, the other thing you'd have to do is you want to make it fun. And if the kids are having fun, they get relaxed and they go out and do their thing.
Absolutely. Yep. Yeah. And that's just it, and, that fun is that's why we're all here ultimately, is because these kids enjoy the game. They love the game. But it's sure nice when you can put a W up there. It seems like that fun word comes a lot easier when that happens.
Yeah, it's a lot more fun to win, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, we're looking forward to a really good weekend against a very competitive team, and talk about having a little fun. This is a team you can have a little fun against, if you can play with them.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the goal is really just being competitive with them, and like I said, if we're competitive with them, I think that kind of sets the stage. And we put ourselves in a position where we need to get one that we're not expected to get to have a chance to go to the state tournament. So It might as well be one of these two, or maybe both these this weekend. All
right, sounds great. Go get them. We'll talk to you after the game.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you. Yep. Coach Evan Witt, and of course the coach's comments tonight brought to you by Deutsch Excavating. The game also tonight being brought to you by New York Life. Carrie and Melissa Anderson, your agents. Hanson Moran Athletic, they bring you the officials. Plus Riddles Jewelry. Also, of course, a First Premier Bank card with the scoreboard. And the power play penalty goals brought to you by Pelican Power Sports. Also, of course, Hockey Happenings brought to you by East Side Implement. And the post-game show, we wrap it up, brought to you by Sharps Automotive. And, of course, also the player of the game, brought to you by Subway. Game tonight also brought to you by State Farm Insurance, Pizza Ranch Willie's, as well as Foley and Foley Law Office. Watertown, Rapid City getting set to go tonight. This should be interesting. The Rushmore Thunder, of course, come in at 12-0, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. It's nice to get Jim back. Welcome back, of course, from Wisconsin for hockey tonight. We missed you last week, and big thanks to Jenny Workus.
Yeah, Jenny Workus, she filled the small shoes.
You talk about wearing many hats. She wears many hats.
She put yet a different hat on.
You're my MVP when you're here. Kurt's my MVP back at the station, and he really is an MVP.
Oh, yeah. You bet.
And last week, Jenny was my MVP as far as the games are concerned.
It takes a lot of MVPs.
It takes a village to get me through a game.
That's right. Well, tonight, this game, I've been looking forward to this, and I do miss, when you miss a weekend, but I was really been looking forward to this weekend because we're probably going to see in Rapid City probably the best team in the state right now.
Yeah.
They beat Brookings, who we talked about a couple weeks ago and last week.
And twice.
And they beat them twice. So is this the best team in the state? Probably right now it is.
Well, yeah, you're right. And, of course, I'm sure Brookings goes, well, we won't get them back to maybe state time, and I'm sure they'll be remembering. But both scores when Rushmore beat Brookings out there in Rapid, of course, was 4-3. 4-3
Right.
Friday night or Saturday night, the overtime game, and then, of course, 4-3 again on Sunday. So I'm sure practice was not fun for Brookings on Monday.
Yeah,
Let
and
alone
those teams are evenly matched. But in a certain time in the season, teams peak a little bit, and Rushmore's definitely on that peak right now.
Yeah. Well, and I also thought that maybe Whitty and Hershoff and probably Schneider were the best line perhaps in the state.
Yep.
But then you get into Rushmore's line of Petroto and Worth. It was 24 goals, 8 assists. Hunter Walla, of course, that may be even better line than the Whitty Hershoff line with Schneider.
Yeah, just when you think you've maybe seen the best line in the state, you see another one come out, and it just has to go to show you how many good teams and players there are in this state. This is a fantastic league, and you heard Coach Witt. If we can play with these guys, he thinks they can. And I think the Lakers actually can, but can they do it for 3 periods? That's going to be huge.
That's the key, because they showed they can play with Brookings for a period and a half.
Yep.
And then once the door got opened, it was like, and then of course Brookings had a couple of goals within 10 seconds, but they played so much better than the final score indicated, and I think they've really come a long way.
And that's what those good teams will do. When you show a weakness or you open the door, they don't let you back in again, and good teams will do that. And that's where Watertown is. They show times when they're a very, very good team, but you have to be consistently good, to put it together against the real good teams.
Yeah, for 3 periods, you're right.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, of course, we'll be back here. We have the girls tomorrow afternoon at 4:30.
Correct.
We'll have the boys tomorrow night again with the Rushmores at 8:30. Tomorrow, of course, stick it to Cancer Night. And really, all the fun begins at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and it really goes up through about 10:30, 11 o'clock tomorrow night, as far as that's concerned. So we hope that we can pack the stands and get a great crowd out here to support those people with, of course, Cancer Cares, that group.
If you haven't come to a game in the Mace, and you're looking at the schedule and thinking you might come, we'd love to have you tonight.
Yes.
Come tomorrow night. All the special festivities that go on before, and you see these kids, put kind of their heart and soul into it too, because everybody's playing for somebody, and that's announced and so forth. The lights go down, and it's a pretty neat event prior to the boys' varsity game. You'll see some different jerseys. They wear some jerseys that are dedicated to the cancer cause and so forth. So it's a bit of a special night. And I know you and I have done that now for a couple years, and even sitting up here in the booth and trying to announce through that sometimes it's emotional.
Yeah.
And that's the way it gets, and and that's why you do it. So it's a real special night. Come on out and take that in. It's a pretty special home game. It really is.
And tomorrow night, one thing you have to do is not light a match. So when they turn the lights down, we got to see. You'll have to forget the match tomorrow night.
Yeah, right. Yep. No, it's pretty neat. We'd love to have you out here tonight. There's room for a few more. We're about 10 minutes away from game time, so you have plenty of time to get here. But come on out. You're going to see a really good Rushmore team. And with this Watertown Laker team, I'm looking forward to seeing how they're going to match up.
Well, and this is the only trip that the Rushmores make to Watertown this year. What happens is next year Watertown will go out to Rapid City for a couple of games. This year, of course, the Rushmores come here. And the Rushmores, as we mentioned, coming in at 12-0. Interestingly enough, as you look at this team, they have outscored their opponents 85-21. through their 12 games. They're 12-0 right now, leading the way with 24 points. Then we mentioned Brookings at 11-1, 0-1 with 23. They've outscored their opponents 87-15. And then after that, it's not quite that close. Then, of course, you have Owyhee at 9-4 with 18 points. They've outscored their opponents 79-34. We won't go through all these. Sioux Falls won, of course, 8-1 with 16 points. And that's a team I think is a team to be reckoned with also. They probably have more all-stars on that Sioux Falls team than the other teams. I don't want to say combined, but they probably have more all-stars that'll be playing in the, what do you want to call that?
The team South Dakota?
Yeah, exactly.
Yep, there's a lot of the kids from the Sioux Falls 1 team that play on it. In fact, I think it might be 6 or 7, so they've got makes up a good portion of that boys' team.
Yeah, then you get down to Sioux Center, of course, in 5th place right now, 5-4-1. They're not a bad team. They've outscored their opponents 40-32. I should go back to Sioux Falls 1 for just a moment. Through their 9 games, they've given up only 16 goals. They've scored 50. So you look at some of the goaltending. We'll talk about that a little later on perhaps too. Some of the goaltending in the state's pretty darn good. We talk about the kids that can put the puck in the net and get assists and that type of thing. But some of the goaltending, I think we might have the best crop of goaltenders in the state right now that we've ever had. And I thought 2 years ago we had a good crop.
Yeah, I think you're right. There's something going on in these goalie programs within all the cities, and we're seeing such good goaltending even at the JV levels. There's some really good goaltenders out there. And talk about a position that's high pressure. That's about as high pressure as it gets, is that goalie position. And not every kid can play goalie. Not because of physically. It's a mental game to be in that goal. It really is, and not all kids are cut out for it.
Well, you got to be kind of a different breed, if I can put it that way. And I don't mean that in a negative way, but you really
But I think everybody knows what you're talking about. Everybody that's around hockey, college level, pro level, all the goalies have that one little thing, right?
Yeah.
It's just different.
And they have their idiosyncrasies and all that junk, just kind of like we do. And then, of course, you have Aberdeen right now at 4-5-0-1 with 9 points. They're 7th. Then you have Watertown 8th at 4-8. Then you have Mitchell with 8 points as well in the standings. And then you get into Yankton and Huron. But, of course, the top 8 teams go. So Watertown's kind of on the bubble right here. So the last few weeks are going to be very important.
Well, and you look at Aberdeen, Watertown, and Mitchell, they're within a point of each other.
Yes.
So a couple games can mean an awful lot for those 3 teams.
Exactly.
It could mean making the tournament or not making the tournament.
Yeah, exactly right. Of course, speaking of the tournament, we'll broadcast all 11 games of the girls' state varsity hockey tournament. That'll be from Aberdeen. That's the 4th, 5th, 6th of March.
Yep.
And then the following week, we'll do all 11 games of the boys' state tournament from the Shields Iceplex in Sioux Falls. And, of course, our own John Winkler will join us. I call him ours. Notice that?
Yep.
John Winkler will join us for that from, of course, KCCR and Pierre.
Yep.
And we look forward to that. Speaking of Pierre, real quick, since we have a moment, Watertown will be in Pierre next week, Fort Pierre to be exact.
Correct.
So Watertown taking on Owyhee. It'll be the girls at 2:30 in the afternoon. You'll be out there for that with John Winkler.
Yep.
And then, of course, the boys' game at 7:30 that night.
Yeah.
And you'll be helping John Winkler
And
with that
those
also.
games will be on KSDR radio. And then, of course, you can live stream them through the KCCR YouTube.
CapitalCityRocks.com.
Yep, YouTube. So there's lots of ways you can tune in for Laker hockey.
Next weekend.
Yeah.
Yep. So just so you know that, we're going on the road again next week. Although you are, I'm not.
Yep.
As it turns out. So the weekend, as far as this weekend, next weekend, we're getting down to kind of crunch time now as far as the standings are concerned and teams that are going to make the state tournament.
Yeah, it does. It seems like we've talked about this before, Jeff. You get to that Christmas time and things just not to say that they go downhill, but things go quickly. And now all of a sudden we're looking at, hey, who's going to make it and who's not, and who's going to seed where in the tournaments. And the tournament will be honest before you know it. Right now, a lot of teams are down to 5, maybe 6 games left, sometimes 7. So it's crunch time.
The girls even less.
And the girls are even less right now. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah. Speaking of such, of course, our pregame show brought to you by Trav's Outfitter, Retailer of the Year. Isn't that a good thing to say?
Yeah.
And that's pretty cool. Brought to you by Trav's. Next week, or coming up, we mentioned the Rushmore girls playing tomorrow with Watertown at 4:30. Then they play again. They stay in town and play Watertown again on Sunday.
Yes, and we'll
at
broadcast the girls
1:30 in the
tomorrow.
afternoon.
We'll broadcast the girls tomorrow. Then we're going to take a break, and we're going to be back with the boys and stick it to cancer for girls and boys tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll have girls on tomorrow, girls on again next week on 2 Saturdays back to back.
Yeah, girls and boys
from different locations.
So certainly tune in. We'd love to have everybody aboard, and it's good to be back in this groove. You know, we end up doing quite a few games here within the next few weeks, and we're getting down, like they say, to crunch time in the tourney. It's always fun. If you have any liking to South Dakota hockey, you don't want to miss either one of those tournaments, and we're going to provide you lots of different ways to hear and watch those games. All
right. There is some college hockey going on tonight, too, since we have just a moment, like Minnesota Notre Dame. I haven't seen Vince Foley yet, but we'll get together somewhere along the line.
Is that in progress?
It's in progress at Notre Dame. We'll have to check on that. And then, of course, you have Michigan at Wisconsin tonight, Ohio State at Penn State, Big Ten action, Arizona State at Minnesota State, Mankato, rated #1 in the country. Then you have Lake Superior State at Northern Michigan. And then, of course, you get into Bemidji State at Michigan Tech, Western Michigan at Minnesota Duluth. Western Michigan's rated in the top 4. And, of course, Minnesota Duluth rated right up there as well. St. Cloud State of North Dakota. Denver, Miami, and Omaha is at Colorado. Just like to throw in the college aspect of it a little bit also. And we can get to the scores as far as college hockey is concerned.
In the meantime, Jeff, you look those up. We do have 3 other varsity boys games on the docket tonight. Aberdeen Cougars against the Huron All-Stars, and that one's in progress. It's already 2-0 in that one with Aberdeen over Huron. And then Sioux Falls, I believe that's Sioux Falls 1, plays down in Yankton. That one is not going yet. And the Sioux Falls 2 is in Mitchell tonight. So there's 3 other games.
Okay, Minnesota leading Notre Dame 4-0 right now. 3:38 to go in the second period.
How does that feel?
I won't tell Vince that.
He already knows.
Yeah, and Michigan leads Wisconsin 4-1. Ohio State leading Penn State 2-1. Right now, some games to pass along. Northern Michigan losing to the Lake Superior State Lakers 4-1. And let's see, we mentioned that one with Western Michigan and Mankato State. See if I can find that. And they're tied right now 2-2, starting period number 2. North Dakota leading St. Cloud State with 2 minutes to go in the first period, 2-0.
A couple girls hockey games, varsity girls going on tonight. It looks like Sioux Falls has already beat Yankton 11-0. That must have been an early start today. Oahe Capitals and Brookings are going to go at it. And so just 2 other girls varsity games going on tonight.
All right. That sounds good. Well, we'll concentrate with a little bit to go here with Watertown. From the Reliabank booth, we got to talk with Josh Finstead last week. What fun that was on Saturday night. Are we going to talk to some girls?
We're going to try to get some girls up here from the girls varsity team. We're going to talk a little girls hockey, and that ought to be interesting with some of the girls. So we'll try to do that between either 1 or 2. So stick with us between the periods.
Okay, sounds good. And, of course, our pregame show brought to you by Trav's Outfitter. Also, a game tonight brought to you by Reliabank, Deutsche Excavating, New York Life, Carrie and Melissa Anderson, Hanson Moran Eye Clinic, Riddles Jewelry, plus First Premier Bank Card, Pelican Power Sports Power Plays. Also, of course, Eastside Implement, Sharps Automotive, as well as Subway, plus State Farm Insurance, Pizza Ranch Willie's, and Foley Law. And thanks to Kurt Crawford back at our studios, our studio engineer. He does a great job. And he and I have gotten to know each other very well this year.
You've had
the last 2 years, yeah. He goes, "Are you back again?" And by the way, the officials tonight brought to you by the good people brought to you by Hanson Moran Eye Clinic. They need to see what they're doing. Have to tell Adam Sullivan that. But let's see. Rice tonight is going. Also Justin Ballas and Adam Sullivan, and also Parker Riddle. And of course, Parker, familiar name.
Yeah. So what you're saying, Jeff, with Moran Eye Clinic, that if these referees have any problem with their eyes this evening, they can probably check in with Moran Eye Clinic. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, exactly. Hanson Moran Eye Clinic. So we appreciate that. Watertown, of course, will be defending the goal to our right when we get things started. Rapid Rushmore Thunder will be on the defending goal to our left. And, of course, they will start tonight. Michael Hobby, Habbe, 10-0 in the year, 188 shots on goal, 171 saves, so 17 goals, a goals against average 1.79. 910 save percentage. He has 2 shutouts on the year. And, of course, we'll get to their lineup in just a second. Lakers will start Owen McBride, 4-8, and our national anthem is next. So we've had Carrie Anderson singing the national anthem, and let's see, tomorrow it'll be Barb Krantz. We look forward to that for tomorrow. So nice to have you with us, Jeff and Jim. Kurt back at our studios. We're nice to have you with us. Glad to have Jim back with us as well. And a big thanks to Jenny last week filling in. From the Mace, getting set for hockey tonight. And of course our pregame shows been brought to you by Trav's Outfitter. And the opening of Face-Off brought to you by Riddle's Jewelry as we get set for the starting lineups. And let's see, for tonight, as far as the Rushmores are concerned, they will get set with Duncan Chisholm, Parker, of course, Brannon, startings, and of course tonight they will go with some other folks as well. We'll get that lineup for you set here in just a moment. Watertown Lakers, their starting lineup tonight. And of course brought to you by New York Life. Jake Bramer gets the start tonight. Austin Green, Jake Bramer. And Mason Witt will start. So Witt, Green, and Bramer. Okay, and Austin McBride. And also tonight it'll be Brayson Bowling starting, and in the nets, of course, it will be Owen McBride. So glad to have you with us on this Friday night. Jeff and Jim with you, and of course Kurt Crawford back at our studios. Watertown comes in 4-8 in conference play, 2-3 at home. This is just their 6th game of the year. 7-5 in the road. They're 9-8 overall. Of course, the Thunder coming in 12-0, leading the league, and of course unbeaten on the year. They beat Fort Pierre last Saturday 3-1. They play Watertown tonight, tomorrow night as well. Then they play at Huron on Sunday. The Lakers play tonight here, tomorrow night here. Then they get Sunday off. So Riddle's Jewelry will bring you the opening face-off. Lakers, of course, to our right. Looks like they're going to have in there in the face-off circle Mr. Witt. And let's see who they come up with. Farley, Dietrich, and also Hayden Hollick, I believe, on this line for the Rushmores.
They need a puck, Jeff.
They need a puck.
They forgot to grab a puck.
I know how that works.
You got to start it with a puck. Here we go.
And the opening faceoff brought to you by Riddle's Jewelry. Adam Sullivan will drop the puck. I bet he's done that a few million times. And we're underway with our hockey game from the Mace. Nice to have you with us on a Friday night. Opening faceoff actually controlled in the Rushmore zone by Duncan Chisholm. Dumps it ahead in the Lakers zone, and back to get it will be Austin McBride. He works down there, of course, against Alex Dietrich. He's a very good player. Dietrich, they hold the zone. Back out here, comes to the point to Chisholm. Dumps it in the corner now, right side over here. Comes back to Duncan Chisholm. Puts a shot on a bullet that goes wide. Getting after it, of course, is Dietrich along the far boards. Comes out here in the neutral zone. Chisholm goes back to get it, plays it off the near boards, back in the Lakers zone. And, of course, McBride goes after that loose puck. Steps around to check that time from Hollick. Lakers will bring it up ice, put a shot in, and they dump it in. Those will make a change here as Foley gets out after it in the Rushmore zone. Over there, of course, as well as McBride. The two sophomore defensemen out there right now. Lakers try to knock it down, can't do so. Getting on that loose puck, of course, is Petrodo. Skating in, lost the footing. I guess we could say he blew a tire right there. And, of course, that's Worth, who has 24 goals on the year. Puts a shot on that caroms wide. Rebound comes out in the neutral zone. Getting on it, of course, is number 11. That would be Dunbar. Puts a shot right on the Lakers. Nice job there. And making the save, of course, is Michael Hobby. 1.79 goals against average this year for the senior. He's 10-0 on the season. Lakers have workers out there. Jackson right now in the face-off circle. Goes in there against Worth. Lakers actually won the draw. Put a shot on. Hobby again makes the save.
A bit of a change for the Lakers. Yeah. We have Thomas Foley playing a forward the last few games, and he's fun to watch at a forward.
Oh, yeah, he likes to play defense, though.
Yeah.
He really does. 15:37 off the face-off by Riddle's Jewelry. Goes in the corner and going after, of course, that loose puck is Dunbar. Dunbar goes after the puck, dishes it out here near side. They break it up ice. Gets just beyond the stick in the Lakers zone. Lakers come back to get it as Rushmore Thunder knock it down. Back out there to get it, of course, defenseman. That's Merchant. Merchant, M-E-R-C-H-E-N, picked up here, of course, by the Thunder. Long lead pass that time, little far. They tried to get it over there, of course, to Walla. W-A-L-L-A, and going back is Duncan Chisholm. Chisholm circles in the far corner, banks it off the boards, clears it back in the neutral zone, back in the Lakers zone, and, of course, going after that will be Gunnar Van Gilder. So 14:59, icing called here.
We're going to have some offsetting penalties here, and that's going to be Merchant and Boomsma.
Okay.
Got tangled up a little bit, and our refereeing crew decided to take them both.
All right. So offsetting penalties, although up on the board they have just one at the moment.
It looks like they're going to just leave them off because it's offsetting. We're going to be 5-on-5 hockey.
Still 5-on-5 hockey. And that's good. And Easton Knoll out there right now for the Rushmores. Picked up here by the Lakers. They win the draw. Pick up here, this is Trey Allard. Flips the ball at the puck in. It was a high one, and Hobby had to grab it with the glove like a center fielder.
I think he almost could have fair caught that, couldn't he?
Yeah, I think he could.
He was kind of camped underneath that one. It was almost all the way up into the beams and came right down to him.
Offensive zone faceoff coming up here, and the Lakers, actually the zone there, that was Werting, coming up with the puck along the near rail. Coming up, and of course, Rushmore's break it out along the near rail there. That is, of course, Bartling. Bartling, this is the third line. Bartling, Petrick, and Kirk. Not Captain Kirk, but Carter Kirk. And a shot right on goal that time, and the save made by Owen McBride.
You can tell that Rushmore's, they're a lot like Brookings. They'll shoot from anywhere at any time, and they've got a really good shot.
Scoreboard shows a 1-0 lead. I don't think we have a goal scored yet, have we so far?
Unless we missed it.
Unless we missed it.
We have missed a goal before.
Well, we have.
Not tonight.
Not tonight. I don't think so. So right now it's 1-0 Watertown, but it's not right. And, of course, it comes out here, and nobody's caught sight of that apparently. So coming up here is Allard, puts a shot on. Lakers again make a change. And right out there is Bowling right now. As Hobby again makes another save, his third. Now they get that one off the board. I take a goal, but I don't think they're going to give us one. 14-13. Face off in the offensive zone, brought to you by Riddle's Jewelry. Went out there, but Rushmore's actually win the draw. Loose puck goes up over the glass and out of play, and we'll have a face-off coming in the Rushmore zone. They're 12-0. Lakers coming in 4-8 as far as conference play. As Duncan Chisholm gets out there, love that name. And of course out there as well with Chisholm is Dunbar. Dunbar and Chisholm running right now defensively out there and going after that loose puck over there, of course, is Halleck. Halleck flips it into the Lakers zone. Going back to get it out there is Farley. Farley, Halleck, and Pete Dietrich on this line. Comes back out here to the zone, comes back Dunbar, putting a shot on a little bit high, off the save, perhaps up over the glass out of play.
Rushmore really comes down and sets up their offense, don't they? They kind of come down and everybody spreads out, and it's almost like a power play all time when they come down. It's just the way they set up.
Yep. Worth with 24 goals in the face-off circle to the left of McBride against Witt. Witt and Worth in there. Lakers poke it away, getting it back. Chisholm puts a shot on it. Karam's wide. Another bullet. Worth goes after that loose puck, takes it back behind the Laker net, puts a shot on side of the net, off the side of the net, picked up and kept alive. That time, another shot by Petrodo wouldn't go. Worth is on that puck as well, far right side over there. Skating in, can't let him do that. Puts a shot on, blocked that time. The Lakers break it out to center ice. Green will put it into the Rushmore zone. Watertown again will make a change. Duncan Chisholm with the puck right now, deep in his own zone. Comes near side with it, long lead pass to Petrodo, and Rushmores are offside. 13:07, a scoreless hockey game. 5-4 Lakers with shots on goal on the First Premier Bank card scoreboard.
Just a little bit offsides, Rushmore player, as he jumps to stay in the blue line and can't quite do it.
All right, out there right now is Carter Kirk, Bartling, and Petrick for them. And of course, a shot that time by Easton, puts a shot on that goes a little bit wide of the mark. That, of course, is number 14. That is Knoll for the Rushmore Thunder over there. Comes back out here. Rushmore keep it in, play it back behind the Laker goal. Picked up by Scott. Scott plays over here, gets it right back. It was blocked that time by, of course, Mr. Kirk. Loose puck back behind the Lakers goal. Scott goes down. Loose puck, where is it? In the far corner, kept alive here by Knoll. Knoll picks it up, looks for a wraparound. Had a man right there. That was Kirk. Couldn't get the shot on. The Lakers break it up the right side and into the neutral zone. This is, of course, Mr. McBride. Takes it back behind the Laker goal. Had a man right parked out front there, but he couldn't get the shot off. And the loose puck comes back out over here along the near boards. That was Mull. Mull was out there. Loose puck kept in by the Lakers and then picked up here now by Kirk. Kirk comes up with a puck. They can skate, can't they? They get it over the blue line, put a shot on. Pad save made that time by McBride. Another one he puts on, and he makes the save at 11:51. So Rapid City's outshot Watertown 6-5. A scoreless hockey game, though, at 11:51 on the First Premier Bank scoreboard. Face-off coming in the offensive zone to the right of McBride.
You said it, Jeff. They can skate, and you can see the skill level that this team has.
Farley, Dietrich, and Halleck right now. Dietrich will take the face-off for Rushmore. Lost the handle, shot right on goal, though, and McBride again makes that stop. That, by the way, was off the stick, I do believe, of Dunbar. It was. Dunbar, of course, one of the defensemen on this lineup right now. Picked up here by the Rushmore Thunder, Dietrich. Shot out front, a little bit wide of the mark by Farley. Dietrich gets on it, far boards over there. Coming out here, skating around, puts a shot on. Broken up in traffic, but it did get to the goal, and McBride gloved it. So 8-5, the shots on goal right now is Rushmore putting a little pressure in the Lakers zone. Lakers having a little trouble breaking it out.
Rushmore at this point with 8 shots on goal. I think they've probably had twice as many. They've actually missed the net a little bit.
Yeah, Dietrich shot on by Dunbar, blocked that time, broken up in traffic. Farley gets to the puck, goes to Dietrich in the corner, takes it back behind his own net, looks out here left side with it, shot on that time, goes a little bit wide. They tried to get it on. They had the goalie moving, but he made the save. Still down, still making the save. Coming out there, loose puck, the Lakers will sweep it away. They get out to neutral ice with it right now, Riefenberger. And Riefenberger, Jacob puts a shot on, kicked out that time with a stick save made that time by Hobby. Loose puck picked up here by the Rushmore Thunder. It's 3-on-1. This is what you don't want. Skating in, a shot on goal. The save made nicely by McBride off the stick of Zeke Farley. Farley's just a junior, has 4 goals, 5 assists on the year. Good job by Owen McBride. It was a 3-on-1 odd man rush, to say the least.
Yeah.
And McBride came up with a save. So Worth with 24 goals, 8 assists in the face-off circle against Witt. Here, Duncan Chisholm puts a shot on that goes wide. Trying to hold the zone that time was, of course, Brandon. Does so, keeps it in. The Rushmore Thunder putting another shot on, a quick whistle.
It's going to be a high stick.
10:40 to go.
It's going to be a high stick right in the center of the ice. Dawson Worth. And they are going to go all the way back down to the other end on the right-hand side of Hobby.
And the power, can I try it out? I can get it out there. I think the Pelican Power Sports power play. The Lakers are on it right now, but it's Worth with a backhander. Save made. Duncan Chisholm couldn't get to that loose puck. Lakers sweep it away. Gets back out here. Petrodo comes over here that time for Walla. Walla goes after that loose puck. Picked up along the far boards there. Petrodo comes back here on the power play. Goes back behind the Laker net. Right now, the Lakers are actually on the power play, are they not?
No, we're 5-on-5 right now.
5-on-5.
Yep.
10:04 to go in this period. And Walla goes after that loose puck for the Thunder. Chisholm couldn't come up with it. Lakers did, poked off the stick that time of Green. Loose puck, and Chisholm puts his man on the ice. Chisholm goes down. They have a little pushing and shoving down there. Green comes over to help out right in front of the Laker bench. Chisholm getting in there.
Green and Chisholm getting into it. And I think what happened there, Chisholm perhaps got a little bit, maybe a check a little bit from behind. They're not going to call that type of penalty, but they are going to put 2 guys in the box here. Coach told us that this team was a little bit physical. So we're going to have a roughing.
And Green and Chisholm, I think, are both going to go. Offsetting penalties like we had earlier. And, of course, the officials do that just to get control of this game right at the outset.
Right. But I do think this is the kind of game it's going to be. We've had 2 offsetting penalties now, and Rushmore will play just a little more physical, and that's what you'll get after a while. You get some retaliation and so forth.
Yeah. 9:49 to go. Scoreless hockey game. Face-off coming just outside the blue line. The Riddles Jewelry face-off.
Coach talked a little bit about the Lakers, trying to work on some of that retaliation type stuff. And this is a game that if you control your own self, you might find yourself on some power plays.
Yeah, Chisholm is going to be off here for 2 minutes. So the Lakers are on the Pelican Power Sports power play. Picked up here, of course, by Witt. Mason with the puck, stick handles, backhander, rink wide pass over here for Boomsma. Boomsma with the puck, put it on, broken up that time by Worth, puts a shot on, and he scores! A shorthanded goal by Rushmore. Coming at 9:34.
Pretty nice shot there by Dawson Worth. Found himself one-on-one with Owen McBride. And that's a tough matchup if you're Owen McBride, because Worth, he can put it in the goal.
Well, that's his 25th goal of the year. And they've outshot, of course, the Rushmores have outshot Watertown 14-7. They grab a 1-0 lead at 9:34 to go, period number 1. So Worth stays out there. And, of course, he has with him right now Dunbar, among others, as Rushmore's control the zone, goes back in the Lakers zone, and Trey Allard gets after that puck. Met back there by Dunbar, or I should say by Worth. Picked up here by Walla, goes after that loose puck. Workus gets after him back behind the Lakers net. Watertown breaks up ice with it. Pass right side a little bit beyond the stick that time of Wertink. And back to get it, of course, will be Merchant for the Rushmores. Loose puck over here getting around Trey Allard. Saved that time by Wertink. Pucker, Lakers with the puck in their own zone. That, of course, was Wertink over there, picked up here by Walla. Walla can skate too. He's got a lot of goals this year. In the corner, comes back out to the point. Leaves it now for Dunbar, for Walla. Walla looking for a centering pass. Had it there, and a man right there for Rushmore's turnaround that time wouldn't go by Worth, and far side picked up here by the Lakers. 8:36, 1-0 Rushmore's with the lead. Period number 1. Orton gloves the handle, dumps it into the Rushmore zone, and Watertown makes a change. Witt gets on the ice quickly to get up with that loose puck back behind the Laker net. Picked up here, of course, and with a puck right now, that's Simons for the Rushmore Thunder. Lakers come up with the puck now in their own zone. Witt leaves it out here for Riefenberger. Feeds left side this time for McBride, puts a shot on. Stick save made that time by Hobby. Comes back out here, booms him, puts a shot on. Hobby makes the save. Going after that puck is Dunbar, far corner. Lakers hold the zone. We have a whistle stopping play.
And we're gonna have a roughing call there. Could have been interference probably, but that's gonna be on Witt. He's gonna get a roughing call just inside the zone that time, kind of snuck up on a player. So we're gonna have Witt is gonna be in for 2 minutes for a rough, and Chisholm's gonna get out in 10 seconds. So there will be a power play here for the Rushmore Thunder.
Pelican Power Sports power play, 4-on-4 for 10 seconds. And Walla comes back out here to Merchant, dumps it in the corner now. Back to get it will be Walla. Takes it back behind his own net. The Lakers net, I beg your pardon, looking out front with the puck. Putting one back out there, getting it back, putting a shot on side of the net, wouldn't go. Walla looks back out front, finds Petrodo, comes back out here to Merchant. Merchant, Petrodo, good stick handler on this number 1 line, puts it out here, has a shot on, broken up in traffic, and Merchant has to go after that loose puck, plays it back in the corner. Walla gets to it there. And of course, Rushmore's right now on the Pelican Power Sports power play. Comes out here with the puck, plays it over there near side, picked up by this, of course, is Dietrich. Dietrich leaves the puck now for a teammate. Coming out here is Worth. Worth cross-ice pass over there, putting a shot on, goes wide, but Rapid City holds the zone. That was Petrozo putting a shot on Merchant. Couldn't go as Dietrich was right there on the doorstep. Loose puck picked up here by Merchant. Lost the handle. Petrozo goes up over the glass out of play at 6:53. Rushmore's with a 1-0 lead, 17-9. They've outshot Watertown on the First Premier Bank card scoreboard. 1-0 it is right now. The Rushmore's with that lead. The difference, of course, is a Worth short-handed goal in this first period. Off the face-off, brought to you by Riddle's Jewelry. Loose puck picked up here, holding the zone, Dunbar. Leaves it back out here now. Shot on that time by Bartling. I should say Brannon, and it is save made by McBride.
It's fun to watch Rushmore here on the power play. The great vision that they have. They're constantly pushing the pass all the way across the ice.
They sure do. And off the face-off, Lakers get it out in the neutral zone, but right now with the puck is a Rapid City, and that's Dunbar. Plays it ahead now. He was trying to get it to a teammate, Hollick, but the Rushmores put it back on. Hollick goes after that loose puck picked up here by the Lakers. Bramer fires back in the neutral zone. Stopped that time by the Rushmore Thunder. Picked up by Dunbar. Cross-ice pass. He had Farley right there. Going after that loose puck is Hollick. Hollick gets to it, but Gunner and Gilder plays it in the corner. Loose puck picked up again by Hollick. Looks for a wraparound, plays the zone, comes back out here. Brannon, right side, shot on the way, save made that time nicely off the shot of Dunbar. Save made by Owen McBride. He's done a nice job in the net so far tonight.
He's fun to watch, isn't he?
Yeah.
And I noticed a couple times when they shot, he guesses the wrong way, and the puck's on the other side, and it's amazing. It's fun to watch him scramble over to the other side. Does a great job in a goal. He can really move.
He's a big boy. And off the face-off, brought to you by of course, Riddle's Jewelry. 5:48 to go in the period. 1-0 right now. Loose puck in the Lakers zone. Back to get it, of course, is Rushmore. That is Bartling. Bartling clears it back out here. Gets the puck along the near rail. Leaves it for a teammate. And then they dump it back behind. This is Petrick. Petrick, Bartling, and Kirk right out there right now for Rapid City. Both teams now 5 aside. But 20-9, the Rushmores lead with shots on goal and 1-0 on the scoreboard. Loose puck here along the near boards. Battling for that puck is Scott. He battles down there against Bartling. Loose puck comes back out, but Rapid City holds his own. They come back out here, leave it in the neutral zone just inside the blue line. Here's Petrick. He can put the puck in the net, puts a shot on the Karams wide. Loose puck picked up out here along the near boards. And along the near boards, of course, that is Hansen. Haven't said Hansen's name. He plays defense out there. Well, of course, along with Laughlin. Haven't said Laughlin's name too much tonight either. Getting out there is Petrodo. Gets the puck deep in the slot. Blows a tire. Picked up here by Knoll. Lost the handle. Getting over there, Riefenberger. Works down there. Gets dumped into the corner by the Rushmore Thunder. 4:34 to go. 2-5 for Farley that time. Kept in that time by Hansen as Rushmore's pick it up. Hold the zone is Worth. They go deep in the corner. Right side comes back out here to Hansen. Hansen with the puck. Plays it back in the corner that time for Worth. Plays it back there for Walla. Loose puck. Lakers keeping things going there with 4:11 to go. Out there, and of course Rapid City pulls their goalie to have a sixth attacker as we have a delayed penalty coming up here against the Lakers. Jim caught that, I didn't. Shot on that time by Noel, wouldn't go. Now we'll have a stoppage in play at 3:57 of the period.
That might have been a 1-minute delayed penalty out there. The Rushmore skating with 6 skaters out there, and the Lakers are out there just trying to get it out of the zone. It's going to be a tripping call on Rushmore Thunder, and that's going to be on number 16.
That's right. It's on Riefenberger. 2 minutes for tripping. So another power play this time for the Rushmore Thunder. And back to get it, of course, will be Merchant. Merchant plays it ahead left side. This is for Walla. He can fly down the left side. Does so, takes it around the back behind through Gretzky's office. Gets it back out here, Petrodo to Walla. Shot on that time, they score. From deep inside the blue line that time by Merchant. Merchant gets the goal. Rushmore is with a power play goal.
And we talked about that early in the game, in the pregame, Jeff. These teams, these really good teams that the Lakers are facing, you cannot give them a window. You give them a power play, it's going to be a goal.
That's right. For Caleb Merchant, the junior defenseman, it's his 5th goal of the year. He has 8 assists. 2-0 the Rushmore Thunder. They've outshot Watertown 23-9. At one time, the Lakers were up 5-4, and since then they've been outscored 19-4. Not outscored, but outshot. Picked up here, Petrodo. Rink wide pass coming up there, breaking up ice, of course. That time was Worth. Here's Witt, but Worth takes it away. Comes around the boards. They love to get the old motors running out here, this Thunder team. And they love to put a 2-on-1 over to Petrodo, skating and putting a shot on. Save made that time by McBride. Comes back out there, they hold the zone. Coming out left side, picked up here by Witt. Plays it back behind the Laker net as Bowling goes after that loose puck, picked up here by Petrodo. Petrodo out here, Lakers take it away. Nice back check that time. They pick it up with their own blue line. Flip it out here to Bramer in the neutral zone. Backhander that Karams into the Rapid City zone. And of course, back to get it will be Dunbar. Dunbar skates up ice up the left side. Plays it ahead now, picked up here by the Lakers Workus. Picked up here by Petrodo. Lost the handle, gets it back, turns, puts it on, off a skate. Shoot comes back out here, shot that time on, goal. And the save made off the stick of Hayden Hollick. He has 12 goals this year so far for the Thunder. Dawson Worth with 25 goals leading this team, but they have a lot of people that have a lot of goals.
There's some kids on this team, Jeff, as you get late into this first period, some of these kids can fly.
Yeah.
This Dawson Worth, I mean, he is up and down like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah, that's right. And here, of course, is Dietrich with the puck. Pass out front, Lakers deflected and back in, and Chisholm goes after that puck with Foley as they battle along the boards there. Loose puck picked up here. Lakers got it, crank it up a little bit here. And, of course, back against Dietrich was McBride. Dietrich takes it away. Nice back check there. Shot on that time. Saved, and they score. That was Brennan who may get an assist on that, but he did not get the goal. It's 3-0 with 1:49 to go in the period.
Lakers get tangled up along the far board, and I believe they just kind of lost track of the puck there. And again, this Rapid City team, is on the move. They seem to be
They're
everywhere the puck
lightning
is
fast.
all the time.
Yeah. So now it's center ice. You have Scott facing off here. Okay, so Hollick comes up with a goal. Farley the assist. And of course, Dietrich gets an assist as well. As play resumes in the Lakers zone, it was a minute 17 to play, 3-0 Rapid City. The Rushmore Thunder shot on a whistle stopping play. They thought the net came off its moorings. Don't think it did, but that's okay.
That net might be a little loose there. Now we got a couple referees over there trying to tighten it up. It seems like it wants to fall off. Maybe Owen's leaning on the poles a little heavy tonight.
Could be. Face-off coming here, and it'll be for Thunder. Bartling on this line, working down there against Scott, if I'm correct. Nope, it was Allard. Beg your pardon. Comes back out here. Rushmore Thunder put a shot on. Save made that time off Kirk. 1 minute to play in the period. Back it comes here. Shot on goal. Broken up by the Lakers. It hit somebody. And of course that was off the stick of Hollick as Rushmore Thunder play it back in the Lakers zone, putting a shot on. That carom's a little bit wide. That was off the stick that time of Bartling. They have so much speed on this team. And of course comes back out here in the neutral zone. Cross ice pass that time from Kirk. Bartling, Lakers try to break it up, comes back out here. Merchant with a goal of the night, plays it back behind his own net, hounded by Wertink. Then going after him is Allard. Loose puck over there, Riefenberger gets to it, Noel gets to it as well. Cleared away, picked up here, of course, by Bartling for the Rushmore Thunder. They played ahead, Lakers break it up that time. That was Eric Scott. I should say it was instead
Ethan.
Bartling. And then along the near boards, Witt takes a shoulder. Picked up here by Worth. The Lakers go to it, knocked away. Van Gilder puts a shot on, nevertheless, by Worth as the horn sounds, ending the period. So 25 saves for the Lakers. McBride in that first period. And 9 saves as far as Hobby is concerned. And the Rushmore Thunder have a 3-0 lead after the first period of play. And of course, hockey happenings coming up here. They're all being brought to you, as you know, by East Side Implement. 3-0. Let's review the scoring in that first period. Rushmore's broke a scoreless tie at the 9:34 mark of the first period. It was a shorthanded goal by Worth, getting his 25th goal of the year. And Rushmore's had a 1-0 lead. They scored almost exactly 6 minutes later. In fact, it was 6:05 to be exact. Merchant on the power play goal. Their defenseman getting his 5th goal of the year. And Rushmore's led 2-0. And then they tack on another goal with almost 2 minutes gone. Hollick with Farley and Dietrich assisting on the play as Hollick on the year gets his 13th goal. And the Rushmores have a 3-0 lead after the first period here at the Mace Ice Arena. Again, 25 saves for McBride in the first period, 9 for Michael Hobby. And 3-0 right now. The Rushmore Thunder enjoy this lead. They're 12-0, trying to make it 13-0. They play here again tomorrow night. 8:30 face-off will be on the air about 8:15. The girls play tomorrow afternoon at 4:30. Look forward to that. We'll be on the air about 4:15 with that game. And then, of course, the Laker girls play again on Sunday against this Rushmore team as well.
Well, these Rushmore boys are fun to watch, aren't they, Jeff?
Yeah.
They're not a big team. You know, they're not any bigger than the Lakers, but they can move, and their feet are really good, and of course their hands are exceptional. It's a little different team than that Brookings team, who I thought was also matches up well with this team. But Rushmore's a different team, and I almost think they're faster.
Yes, I do
the way they play.
Yeah,
you saw Brookings last week.
Yeah,
and I think this Rushmore team they're faster than Brookings.
And I think that's why they gave Brookings some problems.
Yeah.
Last couple of weeks ago when they played them at home in Rapid City.
Yeah.
So how interesting is that?
It is.
All right.
It is. We have some Watertown Laker girls coming up.
All right.
I don't know how many we have. We have a whole group. Come on
A
up.
whole group.
Come
I
on
love
up.
their uniforms.
We're gonna have 4 of them. You guys are gonna explain these uniforms. I don't know what's going on with this, but you're gonna have to explain this to us. So come on over.
Grab a microphone and
You guys can just pass this around now,
Take
girls.
it over, Jim.
When you talk, you have to talk into this, or we can't hear you, right? All right. So we've got 4 Watertown Lakers girls. We have
Jacqueline Lloyd, Kaylin Melville, Kayla Randall, and Rachel Scott.
and you all passed the first test with flying colors. Okay, girls, first off, explain these uniforms to us today. You guys kind of have a little theme here tonight as spectators.
It's USA night.
So you dress up with USA colors and so forth?
Yes.
Did you have this uniform or just get it for tonight?
I had it.
You had this. Well, it looks good.
And what's her hat on? Oh, I love that hat.
It's a political hat, red, white, and blue. So anyway, girls, now you were gone. You went on a bus trip last weekend, and tell us where you went.
We went to Madison, Wisconsin.
And how did you do?
I think we played pretty good.
What did you?
Oh, we got 3rd place.
And you won 2 and you lost 2, correct?
Yes.
So the bus trip. Talk to us about the bus trip, Jacqueline. You're one of the captains on this team. Were you able to keep track of all these girls on the bus?
Yeah, it was actually pretty relaxed. Everyone just kind of played games and stuff on the way there.
So the bus trip. That was probably some of you girls' first bus trip.
Yeah.
First bus trip. First
Yeah.
bus trip.
Yep.
All right. You gonna be able to go on one more next year?
Hopefully.
All right. Good.
Now you don't take pillows along and things like that and take naps.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we took a lot of naps.
A lot of naps.
Yeah.
All right. So
what's it like facing competition that you wouldn't normally face?
Oh, it was definitely different. We played 2 select teams from Chicago and Omaha, so it was a different pace of the game, but we stuck with them and we played pretty good.
Okay.
I was telling Jeff earlier, I think that game against Chicago was probably the best game you guys have ever played. You lost by, I don't even remember what the score anymore. What was it?
3-1, I think.
Yeah, but I thought it was probably the best game you guys have played all year.
Yeah.
Do you guys all feel that?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, good. I was hoping we were going to see them one more time by the end of the weekend, but that didn't work out.
But 3rd place is great. Nice going.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
so what's left? What's left in this season? Where are we heading from here? You're at home tomorrow.
Yep, we have 2 home games this weekend, and we're standing 5th right now in the state. So we should move up after the weekend if we win both of these games.
Is that the plan?
Yeah, that's the plan.
So this weekend, you guys have not seen this Rushmore team yet. Hey, do you know anything about them?
Not much.
Have you studied this Rushmore
No.
girls team that you're going to play tomorrow?
Nope.
You got time yet. You can study tonight.
We could.
Right, study. We could, but you're not going to.
I mean, I might go home and gotta get prepared for the game, get a good night's sleep.
That's right. That's right. And then, what do you do after this weekend? Do you remember? What do we do after this weekend?
We go to Pier next Saturday.
Next Saturday. And that game we're also going to have on the radio. So, girls, you guys are going to be on the radio tomorrow. And then we're going to be on the radio and live stream again in Pier. So, you get some high-profile games against some high-profile competition.
Yeah,
How does that sound?
good.
You talked about getting a good night's sleep. What's your formula? Maybe give me some hints.
I don't know.
On a
Just sleep.
pregame night and the pregame morning, what do you do?
Sleep.
Sleep.
Sleep in. Get a good breakfast.
Okay, that's all
so,
good.
So how early do you wake up on game day? Hour
9,
before the game? 10
10.
minutes before the game?
No. Well, it depends how early or how late the game is.
Okay, good. But
Like
you
if
have
it's at like 1, I'll just like sleep until like whenever I wake up.
okay. So that's what you girls do the best, right? Sleep,
Yeah. Yep.
sleep, eat, and play hockey. Isn't that the game, right?
Exactly.
Right? Isn't there a T-shirt like that?
I think
Eat,
so,
sleep,
yeah.
and play hockey.
We should
Yeah.
get some.
You gotta like that.
That's right.
Talk about your positions.
What position do you play?
Center. Wing. I play wing.
And Jacqueline?
And I'm a center.
You're a center. Now, Jacqueline, you're a senior.
Yep.
Just I happen to know that.
Yeah. Probably should know that.
Yeah. And you're, how old are you? Or what grade are you in?
I'm a sophomore.
Sophomore?
Freshman.
All
I'm
right.
a freshman.
So you got plenty of years to go yet.
Yeah. So this is the future of Laker hockey, and I think the
That's
future's
right.
looking pretty good.
I do too.
These girls play pretty hard. I've been following you guys all year, of course, and yeah, you guys have a tons of potential from here on through. A lot of
So
fun
what's
to
the
watch.
future hold for you, Jacqueline?
I'm hoping to play hockey next year somewhere, but I'm still looking at different colleges.
So what are you looking at? Who are you looking for? What do you want to go? What do you study when you get to college?
I want to study healthcare administration or healthcare science or something in the medical field, I guess.
So are we looking at 4 years, 6 years in a medical field?
4 years, probably,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
Yep. And hockey, you're thinking about playing hockey. That's kind of the plan right now?
Yep, I'm looking at Minnesota or Wisconsin to play.
Okay.
Oh,
got it.
as in the Gophers?
No.
She has a few schools that we don't have to get a bidding war going here with schools, right? Because all those coaches that you've been talking to, they're listening tonight.
Yeah, I'm
So we
sure.
don't want to start a bidding war, but yes, we're looking in Wisconsin, we're looking in
Yeah.
Minnesota, correct?
Yeah. No, I'm looking at playing D3. So, yeah.
few different colleges
She's
out there.
not
That's
going
right.
to commit, is she?
She's not going
One
to
way or the other.
Tight lip. We're going to stay tight lip. That's right. So, Jacqueline, I do have to talk about it, and your teammates were a huge part of this. But you did something this year that we don't know for sure if anybody's ever done it in South Dakota hockey. And Jeff, you know what it is. We talked about it. But
Yeah.
Jacqueline, you've scored 100 varsity goals,
Yep.
league goals. And I know Jeff looked into it a little bit, and we don't think that anybody in the state of South Dakota has ever done that. So that's 100 goals. It's a lot of goals,
There's
Jeff.
still
that's
time to put
crazy.
on about 50 more before you graduate.
Yeah,
Get
for
that
sure.
record out of reach, completely out of reach.
For sure, yeah.
No, but congratulations on that.
Yes.
That's something that you worked very hard for, and of
Yeah.
course you can't do that without all your teammates. You
Oh,
need your
for
teammates.
sure, yeah. My teammates have helped me through all the years, and I can't thank them enough.
So you've played, what, 6 years?
Yeah, I think this is my 6th year. Yep.
Okay. And
Playing
how about
varsity.
you?
This is my 3rd year.
All right.
My 3rd year.
This is my 9th year
Really?
playing hockey.
Yeah. Well, that's
Really?
and that's Rachel Scott. Rachel, are you watching real closely tonight? You have some interest in a player out here? Who's
No.
playing? Don't you have a brother playing out here tonight?
Oh, yeah, Ethan.
Yeah, she forgets about her brother, but you know, just so Ethan knows you're watching his every move, right?
Not really.
Not really. Not really. She's just here to support her brother if he needs it. But if he doesn't ask, he doesn't get it, right? So, girls, anything else you want to talk about your team? What else is going on the team? Tell us a funny story that happened in your team this year. I'm sure you had a few laughs this season.
Oh, Kayla scored on her own net multiple times.
In games she did?
Yes.
Well, why did she do that? To keep the
good
game
question.
close? Just to
I
keep
guess
it
so.
close?
I guess so.
Kayla, how does that happen? How do you score on your own goalie?
It kind of went off my skate. That was my first ever goal. Yeah, that's about it.
Do your teammates look at you kind of funny when you do that?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So they encourage you probably to not do that very often? Okay.
It'll happen.
So any other funny stories that happened in practice?
I mean, there was a funny moment in our Yankton game when Jacqueline threw hands at her sister. That was probably the best moment I've ever seen.
I actually remember that, and Jacqueline gets a little feisty with her sister once in a while on the ice. And I don't know, Jacqueline, do you want to share perhaps what you said at that moment to your sister?
Well, she was offsides, and I was bringing the puck in to the zone, and she was offside, so the ref blows the whistle, and I go over to her, and I kind of pull her face mask down, and I'm like, get your head in the game.
And what did she do?
She just swatted at my hands. But then we were fine. We played all right after that then, but
So Jacqueline, you think that your teammates aren't watching you guys? They're watching. No, it's a good group of girls. They play together, and at the end of the day, at the end of the game, you usually have an awful lot of fun. Yeah. So, how many games left? Do you know?
6, I think.
6 games left. Then it's state tournament time.
Yep.
Who do you want to meet in that first round of state tournament? Do you pick out a team yet?
I don't know. I feel like Brookings would be a good one.
Brookings or Pier probably.
Yeah, you're going to see Pier a week from now, and you've played Brookings already. Those are 2 teams that you probably match up with pretty well.
Yeah.
Right. Good. Who's the team to beat?
Us. Oh, yeah.
Good answer, girls. I was going to tell you who's the team to beat in the state tournament, and you answered it right. The Watertown Laker girls. So that was a good answer.
Very good. Anything you'd like to add?
Girls, thank you for coming up on the radio
They don't realize
tonight.
when you're on the radio, we don't have them on camera right now, so they can nod their head, shake their head. Nobody knows that.
That's right. But we are live streaming tonight. So not only are you guys on the radio, but you're out there to probably 100,000 listeners right now. Does that sound right?
But
it's worldwide. You can listen to you guys worldwide.
Yeah.
So Watertown Laker girls, thank you for all you do. Thank you for the season that we're having, and thanks for coming up and being on the radio tonight and the World Wide Web. How does that sound?
Sounds good. Good luck tomorrow and Sunday and the rest of the year.
We'll be up here in the booth tomorrow. When you do something good, you give us a high five. How does that sound? All right. Thanks, girls, for coming up. That's the Watertown Laker girls, 4 members of that team. That team is all about fun. They do a really nice job. And those girls, I'll tell you what, they work hard from the time the puck drops until the game is over. They just have a lot of fun.
And that's what you're supposed to have. That's all about having fun. That's life's experiences.
I was hoping they would share some of the funny stories, Jeff. And we got a couple out of them, but I don't even know all the stories, but it looks to me like there's a funny story about every 15 minutes on that team.
Which is good, and that's what you want. We're about half a minute away from getting the second period started. 3-0, Rushmore's with the lead. If you just joined us, and scoring for Rushmore in period number 1 was Worth, Merchant, and Hollick. So Watertown needs to tighten things up here a little bit in the second. See if they can't get on the boards. So far, Hobby has 2 shutouts on the year, but of course his counterpart, Owen McBride, also has 2 shutouts on the year. We didn't talk about Rushmore's, their boys a little bit during the year. They've outscored their opponents 28-7 in the first period, 30-12 in the second period, 25-2 in the third period.
So they have a few good periods left in them if their stats repeat themselves.
So the girls already over there have made their way across the arena, and we drop the puck. Adam does with period number 2. Lakers actually win the draw. Play it into the Rushmore zone. And back to get it, of course, will be Brandon back behind his own net. Leads it now for Chisholm. Chisholm and Brennan playing defensively. Lakers hold the zone. Witt puts a high floater on that actually had a little more steam on it than I thought. Goes up high over the top of the net. Lakers go after that rebound in the corner. Picked up here, though, by the Thunder. Coming out here, Lakers couldn't hold the zone. And going after that, of course, in the Lakers zone is Dietrich. He works down there against McBride. Rushmore's hold the zone. Pass left side comes here to Walla. W-A-L-L-A. Puts a shot on that goes wide. Chisholm puts a bullet on that goes wide. And the Rushmore Thunder pick up right where they left off in the end of the first period. We've rattled off almost a period here. Lakers sweeping away out front. Neutral zone. They fire it left side by Green as he makes a change here. And getting out there is Foley. Pass left side comes over here to, of course, McBride. Puts a shot on. Save made that time nicely by their goalie, which is Hobby. Picked up here by Worth. Puts a shot on, a bullet that goes wide. And going after that rebound, of course, was Sparley. Farley was over there. Worth actually playing a little bit. They juggle the lines just a little bit here. Far boards, Lakers keep it in. This, of course, is Foley. And we have a whistle as maybe offside were the Watertown Lakers. Game tonight being brought to you by Deutsch Excavating, Trav's Outfitter, Reliabank, Olson New York Life, Handsome Rand Eye Clinic, Riddles Jewelry, Pelican Power Sports, Power Play, First Premier Bank Card, Dawson Workus in the face-off circle, offensive zone for the Lakers to the right of Hobby. We have another whistle. Officials conferring right here. We have rattled off a minute and 30 seconds of the second period. 3-0 Rushmores. As on the face-off circle, Worth against Workus. The W's have it. And the Lakers lose the puck over here. Comes off to Holland, out of Worth. Waller to Worth. Waller to Worth putting the shot out front. And nice save made that time by McBride. The Lakers sweep it away. This is Workus. Feed right side for Foley, too far. Picked up that time by Merchant. Feeds it right side over here. This is Petrodo putting a shot on, and they score.
Owen McBride getting kind of stuck in
time. He got stuck in time is right.
Owen McBride just couldn't keep up with that when they moved the puck side to side so well. Got him moving just a little bit.
Comes at 15:04. I'm not positive on the goal.
We'll have to wait for our announcer to get that one for us.
So Rushmore's now with a 4-0 lead, and it'll be facing off here, Trey Allard. He goes down there against Bartling. This third line of Kirk, Bartling, and Petrick. They don't have a bad line on this team. This is a very good scoring hockey team, but they have a lot of speed, and they use it. And, of course, right side here, putting a shot on. McBride make the save.
Assisted by number 5, Dawson Worth, and number 19.
Petrodo gets an assist also.
Worth gets us an assist.
Worth gets an assist, and Merchant gets his second goal of the game. He has 2 so far tonight. The defenseman right now has a total of 6 goals in the game. So we've rattled off about a few minutes. We'll have to get our camera crew back here sooner next time. That's for sure. I don't like sleeping in between periods.
Yeah.
And 14-13 will go here. And 29-10 shots on goal right now by the Rushmores, and they lead 4-0 in this hockey game. It's a very impressive team. Riefenberger's out there right now for the Lakers. Out there as well is Halleck, Dietrich, and Farley for the Rushmore Thunder. Farley went after that loose puck, picked up here by Dietrich. A backhander that time, goes a little bit wide. Allard gets on the puck, feeds it out here, but broken up nicely that time by the Thunder. At the blue line, Merchant loses it here to Dietrich. Everett, dangerous in the slot, puts a shot on that carries up over the top of the goal and comes back behind the net. Picked up here near side, centering pass. Lakers break it up, sweep it away. This is Wertink. Wertink, near side, lost the handle, picked up by Dietrich. It dribbles wide to the far corner over there, far side of the boards, picked up here. Long lead pass, broken up, and the Lakers break it out to neutral ice. A race for the puck. Riefenberger's there, tries to put a shot on. Hobby makes the save and covers up the rebound as Scott was breaking in right there looking for the loose puck.
Riefenberger in traffic there. Didn't think he was going to get a shot off, but he actually ended up getting a real nice shot off.
Yeah, he really did.
Kind of one-on-one there and being hassled. Being hassled there by a Rushmore player and didn't really give him much room, but he found a way to get it on the net.
Yeah, Witt working against Worth here in the face-off circle, the right of Hobby, Rushmore zone. Rushmore's up 4-0, and the Lakers go after that loose puck. Merchant over there, picked up by Petrick, or Petrick, I beg your pardon, P-E-T-R-I-K. 13:08, we rattled off 4 minutes of the second period, and the Lakers down by 4. Loose puck, the Lakers keep it in the Rushmore zone, and going after that puck, of course, will be Dunbar. Dunbar over there, picked up here by the Lakers. That is Bartling. And, of course, Bowling, beg your pardon, picked up here by the Rushmores. Worth, nice pass that time from Dunbar, puts a shot on that goes a little bit wide. Over here, Dunbar gets to the puck, dumps it back in the corner, picked up by the Rushmores. They hold the zone, Dunbar. Clear it, rink wide pass, shot on that time, broken up. The Lakers clear it away. Nicely done that time. Dunbar goes back to get the puck. Tyson of junior, a goal of 15 assists this year. That's a pretty good deal by a defenseman coming up with 15 assists. Lakers backhanded into the Rushmore zone. They'll make a change here. That was off the stick of McBride. Coming out here near side, picked up by the Rushmore Thunder. Lakers break it up. Workus does a nice job there, gets it to Foley. Foley plays it back into the Rushmore zone with 12 minutes to go in the second period. We've rattled off 5 minutes of the second period. Lakers down by 4-0 right now. Worth right side, broken up, gets ridden out the puck, gets it back though. Takes it back behind the Laker net. Looks for some teammates out there. Doesn't look for a wraparound shot. Looks for a shot, sets something up. Rink wide pass, gets it back here as Worth overskates the puck just a little bit, gets it back, good stick handler. Foley all over him like in his hip pocket. Comes back out here to Dunbar. Dunbar from the point skates in, puts a bullet that carries wide. Kept in though that time nicely by Brandon. Brandon comes out there, plays it back in the Lakers zone. Bowling picks it up, plays it around the boards. Foley gets to it there, plays it out here. Nice pass that time to, of course, Boomsma. Plays it back here at the blue line, but the Rushmores get on it and play it back there. That, of course, is Kirk. Perks was a shot on. He had man breaking in defensively. Bartley couldn't come up with a puck. Picked up here by Chisholm, puts a shot on, kicked out that time as Knoll goes after the loose puck back behind the Laker net. Comes out here, shot on, broken up that time by the Lakers. That was a good job by Boomsma. Lakers tried to break it out, and Boomsma goes after that pass, and a long pass that time with Brandon. As they go back after it, Lakers make a change, get on the ice, and Workus dumps it back in as he goes to the bench. And Riefenberger gets out there quickly for the Lakers. 10:35 to go. Period number 2 just joined us, knocked away off the stick of Chisholm. Lakers down 4-0 as the Rushmores have outshot Watertown 13-11. Getting over there, McBride. Loose puck, McBride hounds his man. That, of course, was Mr. Kirk. They clear it in the neutral zone. Picks it up as Allard. Gets it over here, picked up now by the Rushmore Thunder. Long pass that time for Hollick. Lakers come back, nice job there. Back checking, they take it away. They play it back down the ice. And then going after that loose puck is the Rushmore Thunder. And of course that was Lane Jensen that got up with that puck. 10:01 to go.
Austin McBride had a really nice shift out there if you saw him, Jeff. He came down and back checked a couple times against these guys and picked up the puck, did a nice job that shift.
So Worth faces off here against Wertink. The W's again have it. Comes over here right side, Petrodo, but the Lakers clear it down the ice for Riefenberger. Can he get there ahead of Jensen? Does so. But the icing the puck is called here against the Thunder. Trying to go to 13-0 in league play. 9:50 to go in this period, the second period. Tomorrow, of course, stick it to hockey night. We hope you'll get out here for the girls' game at 4:30 in the afternoon. The boys' game 8:30 tomorrow night. We'll broadcast both. Off the face-off, Jim, of course, will have the play-by-play of the girls' game tomorrow afternoon. As off the face-off by Drills Jewelry in the Lakers zone. And, of course, Bowling clears it around the boards for Allard. Lost the handle, picked up here by the Thunder. Puts a bullet on the Karam's wide. Waller goes after that loose puck. He's out there with Worth. Worth right now gathers it up, catches up with it back behind the Laker net. Hounded by Bowling over there. Lakers putting some pressure on. Getting down there, of course, defensively. And then clearing around. Ostead, I think, also out there putting a shot, or I should say that was Wertink. And shot Karam's off the glass. And we'll have a face-off coming to the left.
That's a fun line that was just out there, Worth, Walla, and Petrado.
Oh, yeah.
That's about as good as it gets, Jeff.
Yes.
And you can see when those guys are out there, they control the pace.
They do, and they know where the puck is, don't they? They know where each one of them is. Off the face-off right now, out there is Dietrich. He's out there right now with Farley and Hollick. That's a good line, too. Dietrich back behind the Laker net. Gets tangled up, of course, a couple of Lakers. Comes out with the puck, though, nevertheless. Looks out here, of course, for Hollick. Back to Dietrich. Dietrich looking out here for Merchant. Shot right off the side of the net. The Lakers clear it out to the neutral zone. Picked up here by Merchant. Back end, cross-ice pass. Gets it right back in turn that time from Dunbar. Plays it off the far boards over there. And here comes the Rushmore Thunder again in the neutral ice area. Picked up here by Farley. Farley leaves it for Merchant. Farley on this line. He's a pretty good little player himself. He has 4 goals, 8 assists on the year. Rink wide pass, far side over there. Getting to it is Dunbar. Lakers, or Dietrich, I beg your pardon, comes back out here. Lakers on the outlet pass couldn't control. Bramer couldn't quite get to that puck. And Rushmore Thunder do. This is Witt. Witt along the near rail here. Puts a little pushing and shoving on. In front in the neutral zone, we have a whistle at 8:02 to go in this period. Single goal in this period so far. That, of course, was scored by Merchant, getting his 2nd goal of the night.
We're going to have a penalty here on Rushmore. That's Hayden Hollick. He's going to go in for 2 minutes. I didn't see what the call was, and possibly for hooking. So it was a hook. I did not see a hook. I saw a penalty, but they called it a hook.
8:02, so the Lakers go on the Pelican Power Sports power play. Let's see if they can't get something started here. They've been outshot 33-11. As Workus fans on a shot from just inside the blue line. They play it back in the Lakers zone. Petrick almost won the race to that puck. Wertink over there, going after it now is Green. Green gets hounded in the corner over there. Actually, not Green, but Allard comes out here. Allard gets to that loose puck along the far rail. Picks it up, he can skate too, gets in over the blue line. Nice speed to Wertink, puts a shot on that goes wide. But the Lakers will hold the zone, or will they? Rushmore gets to it right now. They have a shorthanded goal in this game already, and a power play goal to boot. As Chisholm dumps it back in the Lakers zone, stopped that time by the Lakers' McBride. Over here to Allard, lost the handle, picked up nicely that time by Bowling. Bowling in over the blue line, puts a shot on a bullet that carries wide. The rebound comes back out and goes all the way down the ice, and the Lakers' Workus will go back to get it with 7 minutes to play in the second period. Backhander that time to Allard. Allard gets hounded by Farley, takes it over here for Walla. And he plays it off the near boards this time for McBride. Leaves it now, of course, for Foley. Centering pass, he had a man right there, but McBride couldn't get the stick down on that puck. It's picked up now by the Rushmore Thunder. This is Walla can fly. Leaves it over here, backhander. Farley fans on it just a little bit. Thank goodness for the Lakers, if you will. And Witt goes down there and puts a little shove on Farley. We're going to have a penalty coming up here at 6:27.
That penalty started a little early when McBride went into the boards there. Witt thought that he was maybe hit a little wrong, so Witt came in and hit, and he's going to get a roughing call. So that
Second on Witt in this game.
Going to slash and a rough. So we're going to get. Is there 2 penalties here? Yeah, they got 2 guys in the penalty. So the Watertown Lakers are going to have 3 guys on the ice. They've got 2 in the penalty box. One is Witt, and the other one is McBride. So down in the near corner, that started pretty early on, but this is not what you want if you're a Lakers fan here. And there's also Jeff, there's also a Rushmore player in the penalty box also.
That's a dunk. That, of course, is...
Oh, that's the one. That's the one that was there for another 25 seconds.
Hollick.
Hollick.
That's Hayden Hollick, who has 12 goals this year.
So it's going to be 4-on-3 for 10 seconds, and then Rushmore's going to get out of the box, and it's going to be a 5-on-3 power play for Rushmore in 25 seconds.
For almost 4 minutes. For a minute and a half anyway. That's, as you mentioned, not a good place to be. So Walla will face off here, offensive zone. Riddle's Jewelry face-off controlled by the Rushmore Thunder. Picked up by Merchant, who has 2 goals so far tonight at the blue line. Skates the left side with it for Worth. Shot on, scores just like that.
And again, good vision there by Rushmore. That was a pass by Worth all the way across the ice.
Petrodo, I do believe, got that
and
one.
And a one-timer, you're right, over there by Petrodo. And, boy, they can stick it to you and you give them a power play. So one person from the Lakers is going to get out. That's McBride. And Witt is going to stay in there. So now we're at 15 seconds. We're going to be 4-on-4 hockey here for 15 seconds. And then there's going to be another power play for Rushmore coming up.
For about a minute and a half. Picked up here by the Rushmores, near side for Witt. Loses the handle, picks it up, skates hard to the near side. Gets ridden off the puck that time by McBride, but then he gets it back, plays it back in the corner over there, and of course Rushmore's now at full strength. Lakers break it up ice. With the puck right here, left side is Green. Green had a man out there, Foley, but he couldn't get the puck to him. Picked up by the Rushmore Thunder. They'll break it up ice with a minute 8 to go on the Pelican Power Sports power play. Petruto looking for a pass out front for Walla. And it's picked up here by Worth. This is such a good line. We have a whistle. 5:33 to play in the second period.
And you see
I think
some of
they
these.
were checking on the net again.
You see some of these Rushmore players. Petrato brings it down that time and brings it back between his legs and looks for a pass in front of the net. Very skilled group.
Yeah. So Walla will face off here against Foley, if I'm right. And I wasn't, it was Green. Well, I had the 3 right, and it's picked up here, of course, by the Thunder. Merchant, long lead pass for Dietrich. Dietrich with Worth, pokes it ahead for Walla. Another shot out, they score again. This time it is Worth that gets his second goal of the game.
And they know exactly where each other are, Jeff. That was about as a blind pass, a one-bounce blind pass as you've ever can see. And it looks like they do it every single day.
Yeah, it was a minute after the last shot that they scored on. They have 3 power play goals in this game, Jim, and a shorthanded goal.
Yeah, it's a tall task. This is a good Rushmore team, Jeff.
Yeah, it is a very good Rushmore team. They play here again tomorrow night, and then they play at Huron on Sunday. Huron hasn't won a game yet this year. Poor guys. Comes off to Knoll, and it's poked away, intended that time, of course, for Bartling. Picked up here by the Thunder. Bartling goes after that loose puck in the Lakers zone, and it's picked up here by Allard. Gets ridden off the puck. Rushmore's get to it. We're now, of course, in run time with the 4:39 to go in this second period. Hobby has right now 11 saves and a shutout going, his 3rd of the year if he can get it. Lakers in the neutral zone, picked up here. Nice play by Werting that time. Off it comes to Bowling. Overskates the puck, and it picked up here, of course, by the team of Chisholm. Comes off here, shot that time by Kirk is a bullet that goes wide. Chisholm holds the zone, puts it out here, a bullet that goes high over the net. Picked up here, of course, and that time it was by Knoll. Puts it down low here, centering pass shot on that time by Kirk, wouldn't go. Save made by McBride. Rebound comes back in, and of course going after that loose puck will be Jensen. And he takes a hard hit into the boards. We have a Rushmore player that's shaken up.
I don't think we're going to have a penalty here. Just kind of an awkward play going into the boards.
Chisholm will check on him.
Kind of an awkward play. Kind of went in, Jeff. It almost looks like he went into with his face mask. You never like to see that. I think the no call was probably a good call. I don't believe it was a penalty. It was 2 kids kind of hung up with one another and just lost his footing. And he's up on his skates coming back over to the bench, but he's kind of hurting. Almost looked like he's holding his chin a little bit, maybe.
Yeah, left arm almost a little bit.
That was a tough hit.
Of course, on Lane Jensen. He's a sophomore. Welcome to hockey. It's a tough sport.
Now, are we going to get... The referees are down front here. Now they are going to call a roughing call, Jeff. A roughing play. It was not initially called, but now the referees have come together, and they are going to call a rough. And I believe Bramer was the player that was over there at the time when this happened. Coach Witt is looking for an explanation here. Typically, when something's not called right away, it's usually not called at all. Referees conferred here and did kind of figure that it was a penalty. And it is, in fact, going to be Bramer, and he's going to get a roughing call. So Bramer's going to go in the penalty box for two minutes. Probably could have been a penalty, could have been a no call either way, but the referees, again, trying to set the tone for this when kids come into the boards and so forth, probably a good call by our referee and staff.
Well, and their idea, of course, is to try to keep it as safe for everybody as possible.
And the coach is still getting an explanation. That's Coach Witt. And referees spending a little time with Coach Witt over here trying to get this explanation.
They're really talking about where they're going out for dinner after the game.
Yeah, they're not even talking about hockey. Looks like that discussion is over and they're going to drop the puck.
So Dietrich face off here against Witt. Pass comes over here, shot right on, and glove save made off the stick of Worth by Owen McBride.
I think Dawson Worth has probably shot 20 shots out of these 37. He seems like he's putting it on the net all the time.
He does. Well, that's why he has 25 goals on the year. In fact, 26 to be exact. He has 2 tonight. Worth comes over here. They hold the zone just inside the blue line. Merchant. Pass right side comes off here to Dunbar. Back it comes to Merchant, to Worth. Looks out front. Lakers, of course, they try to knock it down. They do. And, of course, Merchant goes back to get it in the neutral zone. Another whistle at 3:17 to go the period.
High stick there, and he had to touch the puck. He knew the whistle was going to blow when he touched the puck.
Running clock, 3:05 to go in this second period. And the Rushmore Thunder with a 6-0 lead at the Mace. Same 2 teams tomorrow night. It'll be Stick It to Cancer night. Off the face-off with her right now for the Thunder is Dunbar. Dunbar, cross-ice pass comes over here to Brannon. Brannon plays in the Lakers zone, picked up by Watertown near side. Cross-ice pass into the neutral zone, picked up here by Dunbar. Dunbar backpedals a bit, looks for Chisholm. Pass ahead, Lakers get to it. This has been, or I should say McBride. He'll flip it all the way down the ice. 34 seconds to go in the Pelican Power Sports power play for the Rushmore Thunder. Circling in his own zone that time was Dunbar. Comes out here too far for Green. Lakers get to it, and McBride plays it back in. Witt goes after that loose puck back behind the Rushmore goal. They'll bring it up ice, far side up the right side boards. Comes out here, knocked down by Bowling, gets after it, gets a double team that time in the neutral zone, picked up here by Farley, plays it into the corner. McBride goes after that loose puck, another whistle at the 1:47 mark of the second period.
I think we're going to have a trip here, and I got a feeling this is going to go on Ethan Scott, making his way slowly to the penalty box. And this, against a team like this, you'll see some trips. You'll see some penalties just like that. You end up kind of getting about a step behind here at times.
All right. Back in to get Merchant in his own zone with 1:33 to go. Another Pelican Power Sports power play for the Rushmore Thunder. They have 3 tonight. Comes right side with a Petroto. Has a man out there, Walla. Gets broken up by the Lakers, fortunately, and Dietrich gets after it as he holds his zone. Near side for Merchant, no, broken up that time nicely by Workus. Workus plays it into the Rushmore zone. Hobby can't get to the puck, and Workus goes after the rebound over here near side. Comes back out here in the neutral zone, picked up, of course, by Dietrich. Dietrich to the left side, looks for a centering pass for Walla on a one-timer. He got it off, was blocked, picked up here by Merchant, lost the handle, plays to the far corner over there. Rushmore's hold the zone for Worth. Shot on, save made with a glove by McBride at 46 seconds to go in the period.
Another one of those long cross passes there from Petrato over to Worth all the way across the ice. They do that a lot.
Petrato, Worth, and Walla on this number 1 line. They're very impressive. Back it comes to Worth. His cross-ice pass broken up. Nevertheless, Rushmore seemed to get on it, and it's with it right now. Merchant back at his own blue line. 20 seconds to go in the period. Over here to Dietrich, across the Laker blue line. Looks at a cross-ice pass here as Riefenberger gets on it, as does Bowling, and we have a whistle.
We're going to have an interference call.
Interference call.
And that's going to go on the captain, Chisholm. I'm sorry, that's not going to go on Chisholm. It's going to go on Walla. So at the end of the period there, so we will be 4-on-4 hockey coming out in the third period for 13 seconds, and then the Lakers are going to go on a power play after 13 seconds. So when that all plays out,
in that period, outside of the goals, it was 7-2 shots on goal for the Thunder. So right now it is 32 saves for McBride, 11 saves so far for Hobby as far as Watertown's concerned. And the score is 6-0, of course, after 2 periods of play. Lakers playing tomorrow night, but let's get to the girls first. They play tomorrow afternoon at 4:30. They'll host the Rushmores. Then the girls will host the Rushmores again on Sunday afternoon at 1:30. Meanwhile, we'll bring you the girls' game tomorrow at 4:30, and then tomorrow night we'll bring you the boys' game at 8:30 as well, with Watertown again hosting the Rushmores. Then the boys are done for the weekend. Rushmore boys go on to Huron. They'll play there on Sunday afternoon.
a lot of hockey being played this weekend. This is one of those weekends that's busy. A lot of teams playing 3 games. Lakers, of course, girls and boys are each playing 2, but the Rushmore, they're going to play 3 games this weekend.
That's right.
That gets to be a long haul. I mean, it gets to be Sunday afternoon. You pretty much had it when you played 3 games of hockey.
Well, and with the speed that they play at and the way they are on the ice, it's a real up and down game. They aren't sitting there relaxed, trying to kill off a little time and play possession with the puck, although they do that. But they really like to move it and push it.
They do many things well. You know, we talked a little bit about how they go back and forth across ice with long stretch passes, which you don't see a lot of teams do, but the great vision that they have. And the other thing that they do continuously, like many of the good teams do, they're always cutting to the net. If you look, there's always a cutter through the middle. He'll go around the back of the net, and he'll turn and be right back in front of the net. So they kind of come from all over you. If you're a goalie, they're coming from every direction, and the guys out top pass it in so tight and so well.
Yeah, and so of course, the object is to get that goalie to move.
Yep.
And they do a great job of that. Watertown Laker hockey tonight. Rushmore Thunder of the Watertown Lakers, brought to you by Reliabank, as Jim and Jeff, of course, broadcast from the Reliabank booth. Game also brought to you by Trav's Outfitter, the, of course, Retailer of the Year. Congratulations. Also, Deutsche Excavating, New York Life Carrying Melissa Anderson, Hanson Moran Eye Clinic, Riddles Jewelry, First Premier Bank Card, Pelican Power Sports Power Play, also Eastside Implement, Sharps Automotive will wrap things up after the game. Game also, of course, will name a player of the game, brought to you by Subway. Game also brought to you by State Farm Insurance, Pizza Ranch, Willie's, and Foley Law. And, of course, a big thanks to Kurt Crawford back at our studios. He's our engineer for tonight, does a great job, and he's back at the studio. He gets us on, and he makes sure that things go well, which we appreciate. And, of course, our officials tonight are Rice, Ballas, Sullivan, and Riddle. Brian Rice, Justin Ballas, Adam Sullivan, and Parker Riddle. Parker, of course, a few years ago played for this Laker team, and that's kind of fun to see. A few years ago, Adam Sullivan coached this team. He's got a young man coming up.
He does.
Through the ranks, and so we look forward to that. We'll have 3 officials for tomorrow's game, and then 4, of course, as far as the boys are concerned tomorrow night. A little faster paced game as far as the boys to the girls. So they usually have 4 officials for the boys, 3 for the girls.
I'm really looking forward to watching the girls play tomorrow, because I think the tournament that they were in last weekend, and the coach even, Coach Krantz, when I spoke with him on the bus and around the area, he said that he feels that his team, the Watertown Laker girls, are finally what coaches call starting to get it. And they're starting to get in the right spot. They're starting to pass the puck well. I would have to say within the last 3 to 4 games that they played over in Madison, Wisconsin, they've improved vastly. So it'll be kind of neat to get them back on the home ice and kind of see what they've learned and see how they play against the league opponents again. And that's always interesting. And of course, that's why you go to the tournaments, to go have fun, see some different opponents, and play lots of games within a couple days.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. Couple of finals college hockey for you. Michigan beats Wisconsin 5-1. Ohio State, Penn State 2-2 overtime tie.
The Gophers play?
Minnesota beats Notre Dame 5-1.
Should we text Vince that score, or do you think he's well aware of it?
I think it'd be fun to do.
Well, he kind of likes to hear it from us, I think, and especially you. He kind of likes to get the final score from you.
Yes. Yeah, he does. We have a fun time, he and I, because he's a big Notre Dame fan, and he knows I'm a big Gopher fan, but I don't mind Notre Dame. I don't have a problem with Notre Dame. But we have some fun, and that's all fun, too. All in fun.
College hockey. Jeff is a big fan of college hockey, and of course the Gophers.
Yeah.
And it's always fun to get those scores during these varsity games. He keeps everybody up to date on that Division I hockey schedule. Yeah, every time now and then Jeff will skip a Minnesota score. Like if they lose and they lose real bad, he'll just skip it. Yeah. And it's kind of like they didn't play. He doesn't even want to admit that they played. But no, Minnesota Gophers is a fun team, and they're always a quality team, and usually, somewhere in the top ranks of Division I hockey. That's for sure.
Well, and we could get to that. Let's see, what is ranked right now in college? You asked, I brought it along.
I figured I would strike a nerve and cause you to get your notebook out and give us some data here on Division I hockey.
I knew you'd like to know, old hockey.
I knew you'd have it. Yeah. I knew you'd have it, the latest and the greatest.
Well, Minnesota State's ranked number 1 in the country in the U.S. CHO poll and also the USA poll. They are 23-5. Then it's Quinnipiac. Now I'll tell you what, couldn't spell Quinnipiac at the start of the year because I could do it now.
Can you say it before you can spell it?
Quinnipiac. I probably could spell it before I can say it. They're number 2 in the country at 18-2-3. Then it's Western Michigan, and they're playing tonight against Minnesota Duluth, who's number 7 in the country. Western Michigan is 3. So that's kind of fun to see a 3 against a 7. And then, of course, you have Denver, St. Cloud State, then Minnesota Duluth, Cornell, Massachusetts, and Minnesota. In the USA poll, pretty much the same. Minnesota State, Quinnipiac, Northern Michigan, Western Michigan, then Michigan. Northern Michigan, of course, has Grant Patolny, the former Gopher, who coaches up there. And then, of course, you have Denver, St. Cloud State, Minnesota Duluth, Massachusetts, Cornell, as mentioned, Minnesota. And on the women's side, because we can't forget them, we don't play favorites on this show, but we talk hockey. It is Northeastern. 21-2-1 right now, leading the country with the top ranking in the world. Minnesota 2nd, Ohio State 3rd, followed by Wisconsin, Minnesota Duluth, then Harvard.
Where's Harvard?
Yes, and then Quinnipiac, Yale, Colgate, and Clarkson. So you have Colgate and Yale and Harvard, 3 Ivy League schools in the top 10 in women's hockey, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, they have some good women hockey programs in those areas.
Exactly. So we didn't want to leave out the women, so we didn't.
No, we do not play favorites on this show. That's not allowed.
We just talk hockey. And let's see, I had the girls' schedule, or I should say the girls' standings right now as we go into play tomorrow. Of course, you have Sioux Falls at 14-0. We've talked earlier in the pregame show, brought to you by Trav's Outfitter, of the difference for goals, 4 goals against. Sioux Falls right now 14-0, Jim, 28 points. They've outscored their opponents 103-18.
Yeah.
Okay, then you have Mitchell at 13-2. I like this team. 26 points. They've outscored their opponents 106-32. Then you have Aberdeen at 11-3. Aberdeen's been up there the last few years. Yep. Different coach this year. Shelby Edwards doesn't have that team this year. They have outscored their opponents 75-25. Then you have Brookings at 7-6, and then Watertown at 5-7. Then it's Huron, Oahe, Sioux Center, Rushmore, and Yankton at 1-8-1-1 with 4 points. And Huron right now has been outscored 100 to 53 so far in this deal. Of course, they'll have the puck drop coming up here.
We're going to show you the puck drop if you're live streaming. It's kind of fun to watch the puck drop. The puck drops here.
Tomorrow we'll get into the things as far as these two teams, Watertown, Rushmore, some individual stats as well. We'll do that tomorrow for that first afternoon goal game as far as the girls skaters, assist leaders, goal scorers, some of those things.
I have some updates from around the state also at South Dakota hockey. Aberdeen 10-5 over Huron this evening.
In girls hockey.
No, I'm sorry. This is boys hockey.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, boys hockey.
Give me that again.
It is Aberdeen 10-5 over Huron.
Okay.
And that one's a final. That one must have started a little early. Now, games that are in progress, probably on pace with this game, is Sioux Falls 2, 3-2 over Yankton Bucks, in progress. And, of course, we have a 6-0 score in this one right here. And then we go to Sioux Falls 1 is in progress, 5-0 over the Mitchell Marlins. So there's 3 other games in boys varsity. And there's some girls varsity action going on. And that one is Sioux Falls 11-0 over Yankton. That one has started early also, so that is a final. And then we have the Oahe Capital girls 1-4. So they're losing to Brookings 4-1. And let's see. And that's it in girls action. There's only 2 games going on in girls varsity action, 3 games going on in boys. So that's what else is going on around the state. And tomorrow is also busy around the state. The varsity boys all over the state will be going on. And, of course, the girls will be a busy schedule also. So a busy weekend in South Dakota hockey.
Well, you would expect it. It's January, and really the tail end of January.
Yep.
And we're not that far from February goes by like a blink of the eye.
Yeah, most teams right now are sitting at about maybe 5, maybe 6 games left. Some have 7 left.
Some girls' teams only have 4 left.
Yeah, and our girls are actually, right now, we're a little bit behind. I think we're about 2 games behind everybody, but, you know, at the end of the year, you catch up. But our girls, besides the tournament they played in, they haven't played in a couple weeks.
Yeah, you're right.
So everybody catches up, of course, at the end of the year, and that's what makes it interesting when you start shaking out these state tournament seeds. Things change really fast, and sometimes they change all the way up to the last game, regular season game of the year. We've seen that happen over the years where teams will flip-flop spots right at their last game.
And the top 8 teams go to the state tournament.
In the boys, all the girls will go. All the teams in the girls will go, and it's just 8 in the boys. 8 out of, what is there, 12? 11 teams, so only 8 are going to make it. And Watertown Laker boys are one of those that are kind of on the bubble. They're points-wise, they're in a real tight points race with 2 other teams, so they're on the bubble. They need to win some games.
Yeah.
They need to win some games.
So they've had the puck drop, if you will. What do they call this? Used to
Chuck-a-puck.
Chuck-a-puck. It used to be the frisbee throw.
And then it was chuck-a-duck.
There was chuck-a-duck.
And now they're chucking pucks.
Now they're chucking pucks.
I didn't even see. Did you win this thing or not?
No, I didn't throw one out there.
Well, you can't win if you don't play.
I was going to bring one along tonight just for the fun of it and throw it out there, see what happens.
Once in a while we'll find a puck up here that we throw, but then it doesn't have a number on it, so it's really hard to win, but we could probably sort that out. But, yeah, this is a little fundraiser that the Watertown Hockey Association does at the end of the second period of boys varsities. They sell these pucks. I think it's $6 for $1 or $1 a puck. I don't know how much they charge, but look at all the pucks they threw tonight. Fans have supported that little program. And we've got 4 of the younger skaters out there picking up the pucks. And it looks like they finally got all of them in the laundry basket. Be careful, boys. You don't want to tip them and pick them all up again. They almost did. The little guy, he saved it. He saved the whole basket for the whole game.
I thought he was going to fall in that basket for a minute.
Yeah, he was the littlest one out there, and they made him carry the heavy basket, but he saved the day by holding it upright. So
he doesn't have to carry it, though, just drag it on the ice.
He just drug it, but his buddy kind of let go there, and the little guy, he saved the day. So that's kind of fun for those kids. They put the helmet on and pick up the pucks.
So both teams will be playing this third period in front of their own benches. Watertown defending the goal to our right, and Rushmore defending the goal to our left.
And at 6-0, you have to remember we have a run time.
We have a run time.
So this clock will run continuously.
And for 13 seconds, it'll be 4-on-4 to start period number 3.
And then we're going to go on a Watertown Lakers power play for roughly just over a minute and a half. And that's what the Lakers need right now. They need a goal. And of course, to get it out of run play, you're going to have to score 2 goals because you have to get within 4 to get it out of run play. So it's going to be stuck there unless the Lakers can put 2 goals on this very good Rushmore team.
All right. And we'll have to...
I don't see there now the referees are coming out. Goalie started putting his own net up. Maybe we should, on the Lakers end there, Owen could maybe put that net backwards and see how that would work.
So we don't have our cameraman up here either.
They're kind of late to the draw, aren't they?
They really kind of are late to the draw.
We'll get your cameras, folks. If you guys are watching live stream, we're going to get it working with or without them. I'll go over and we'll run that camera tonight so you can see. There's probably all of you that have done a live stream, you surely want to see that camera move up and down the ice. Besides listening to us, you can live stream KSDR YouTube, and you will have our voices, and you will also have the live stream.
McBride, Foley, Witt, and Green will be out there for the Lakers to start this period. Petrodo and Worth will be starting it as well as we get this period. And of course, that's also a Merchant for the Thunder. Lakers actually won the draw. They play it in as Witt goes after that puck in the Rushmore zone. Lakers hold the zone there. That's McBride. Goes in the corner now for Witt, looking out front for Boomsma, puts a shot on, and Hobby makes the save from point blank right in the slot.
Boomsma came off the bench and immediately cut right between the circles, and a nice pass. You kind of see that one develop in a long time.
So the Lakers on the power play now for 1 minute and 25 seconds. Face-off coming over here. Petrick will face off here against Witt. Rushmore's actually win the draw. The Lakers get it back, though. They put a shot on from just inside the blue line, broken up in traffic. Rushmore's put it on. Witt comes up with a pass, and then Boomsma blows a tire, trying to go after that loose puck, and the Rushmore's play it back in to the Lakers zone. 15:58 to go and 57 seconds to go in the Laker power play, deep in their own zone right now. With that puck, long stretch pass that time for Witt. Witt across the blue line, puts a shot on, broken up in traffic by the Thunder's Merchant, flips it out here in the neutral zone. Foley was there, he races after that puck over there, and going after that puck as well is Simmons. He and Boomsma go down, loose puck out in the neutral zone. Lakers get on it, this is Witt. Over the blue line, skates in, looks for Foley, who couldn't get the stick down on that puck and get a shot off. And then Chisholm and Green go after the puck and they flip it up over the glass and out of play. Running clock with a 6-0 Rushmore lead. 15 minutes to play in this period, so we rattle off 2 minutes essentially. And it'll be Workus in the face-off circle here. He works down there against Mr. Dietrich. Flip it around the board, and Bartling flips it out here. Brandon, I beg your pardon. Lakers intercept it, put a shot on goal, a bullet that goes wide. Comes out here along the near board, going after that loose puck in front of the bench with Sparley, along with Van Gilder, picked up here by Rushmore Thunder. They flip it out to the blue line, on to Dietrich, stick. Dietrich skating and gets around the man, skates a shot on, and he puts it on too strong. Comes out here, and Dunbar couldn't hold the board. Right on the blue line, dumps it in the Lakers zone. And that was Hollick putting the shot on, and it's broken up, picked up here by Farley. Farley scores from long range out to make it 7-0.
Kind of a tough angle shot there. He found the upper left corner of the net over Owen McBride's shoulder there. Didn't have a whole lot of room to shoot that one, but found the corner.
He sure did, and for Farley on the year, that's his 5th goal. So as a result, it's a 7-0 lead at 13:54, still a running clock. So facing off coming up here, that'll be Bartling, works down there against Witt. Witt wins the draw, dumps it into the Rushmore zone along the near rail here, picks up by the Rushmores. Coming out here with the puck right now for the Lake Bartling, had it knocked away, Brannon, and picked up here that time by the Rushmores. They played around the boards. That was Kirk. Kirk plays it out here, picked up here by Jensen. Jensen near side over here for a teammate, and Rushmore Thunder offside as Bartling was breaking up the right side. So 13:08, running clock. Glad to have you with us tonight, Jeff and Jim. Jim's also now running the camera. Game brought to you by Reliabank.
Not responsible for what it looks like, Jeff.
Coach excavating. That's true. Picked up here, of course, by Kirk. Goes over the blue line, gets ridden off the puck. Comes back looking for it, and McBride goes after that loose puck in the Lakers zone. 12:43 to play in the game. 7-0 Rushmore Thunder. Here, coast to coast goes McBride. In over the blue line, puts the shot on off a skate that time, broken up by Rushmore Thunder. Picked up here by Foley. Rink wide pass. Jensen gets to that loose puck over the stick of Scott. Picked up here by Knoll. Lost the handle. Where is it? Got it back. Cross ice pass here. Onto the stick that time. Long that time for Mr. Kirk. Shot on that time. Loose puck out front. Broken up. That was from Bartling that time. Bartling goes after that puck along with Knoll, picked up here by Scott. Scott with the puck over his own blue line, now goes to the blue line of the Rushmore Thunder, gets ridden off the puck, taken into the boards over there. Loose puck flipped on the ice, 2-on-1 odd man rush. Broken up that time nicely by the Lakers. What a job that time by Van Gilder, who broke it up. Then Knoll puts a shot on the Karam's a little bit wide. Going after that loose puck is Scott. Lakers will try to clear it out here. Too far for Foley. It's picked up in turn, at that time by Dunbar. 11:32 on the clock. In this period, Lakers with the puck right there. That's Boomsma, gets it out here, broken up. This is Worth with the puck. Gets around Riefenberger, takes it down the left side, winds up with a shot, a bullet that Karam's wide. And it goes all the way down the ice. And back to get it, of course, for the Rushmore Thunder will be Dunbar. Foley puts some pressure on him nevertheless. And the Lakers knock it away. That, of course, was Workus going after that. They played a little 2-on-1 there. Loose puck picked up here by the Rushmore Thunder. Near side and taking a big hit into the boards was Walla. Walla lost the handle, got it back in the corner, lost the handle again. Looks out front, rink wide pass that time, finds Worth. Worth with the puck, plays it off the boards. Worth to Walla. They shoot a little bit wide. Back with it is Worth. Worth, a good stick handler, looks for Walla. We have a whistle. May have the net knocked off its mooring. I think that's what they're worried about at 10:31, but the clock continues to run.
That net's been loose down there on that end all night.
It really has. And the clock continues to run. That's fine with the Rushmore. They're up 7-0. They've outshot Watertown 39-12 in this hockey game. Back here comes the Chisholm, puts a bullet on that goes wide. Another blast that Karam's wide, comes back out here along the near rail. That's Worth. Worth looks for a teammate out front that time. Worth, he had Walla with him on the play. Also Petroto, back to Petroto. Fanned it on the one-timer. Comes back out here to Worth, puts a shot on a bullet that Karam's wide. Both teams are playing at full strength. Loose puck as Workus tries to belly his man up along the board. Worth puts another bullet on. I'm sure he has shot 30 shots tonight, Jim.
I think he has.
I think so too.
He's just one of those kids that just throws it at the net all the time.
And they're not weak shots. They're
no,
bullets.
No, he has a shot.
Yeah, he has a shot. And the Lakers clear the puck all the way down the ice. That'll be icing. And face-off coming in the Lakers zone, brought to you by Riddle's Jewelry. That'll be to the left of Owen McBride. 9:17, a running clock. Van Gilder gets out there for the Lakers. Green is out there as well. And of course, it is right now Dietrich with Farley and Hollick for the Rushmore Thunder. As they're getting over there, of course, is Brannon. Loose puck over here, shot on that time by Chisholm. Kind of fanned on it, didn't get a real good stick on the puck. Backhander flips it rink wide. Bowling gets over there. And of course, Dietrich steps around him. Looks in there, puts a shot on right into the glove of McBride at 8:38 to play. We'll be back here tomorrow afternoon, 4:15. Pre-game show brought to you by Travs, the Watertown girls hosting the Rushmore Thunder. Then the boys tomorrow night, 8:30. These same two teams. Dietrich works down there against Witt. Witt actually won the draw, then lost it. Green gets in the middle of that. And shot out front, broken up in traffic. And the Rushmore Thunder, Dietrich gets to that puck, plays it in the corner, back in Gretzky's office. Back it comes out here. Hansen leaves it now for Dietrich. Skating in, a shot on out front, and the save made off the stick of Farley that time after getting the pass from Hollick.
40 shots on goal here within the last couple minutes. It's kind of been what you'd call target practice.
Yeah, hate to say it.
They're controlling the puck down in the zone, of course, and they have a guy high and a guy low, and they just keep peppering Owen McBride.
And the face-off to the left of McBride in there right now, of course, is Bartling. They've been playing this third line a lot. Kirk and Petrick, they're all good players, though, and back to get it, of course, will be Dietrich. Looks out here that time for Knoll. Picked up now by Mr. Kirk. Looked down low that time for Jensen. Hansen, actually. Jensen is 8, Hansen's 22. And then it comes back out here. Jensen is out there, by the way, as is Hansen. Loose puck in the corner. Lakers will clear it all the way down the ice. Icing will be waved off this time. And skating after that will be Riefenberger. Riefenberger goes after that loose puck over here against Kirk. Out there, of course, is Boomsma as well. They flip it out here, far side. And here come the Rushmore Thunder again. Long stretch pass that time for Kirk. And Rapid City is called for offside at 6:44 to go. Well, you're a pretty good cameraman, I'll say that. But you've had experience from last year's state tournament.
I'm pretty good, Jeff, if I've got the camera pointed in the right direction. Then I'm pretty good at it.
Yeah. Face off. And it'll be right here, of course, for the Lakers. Workus down there, shot on goal, broken up in traffic. Another shot on goal, and we have a whistle stopping play. Hobby made the stop. Hobby so far tonight has 13 saves. 6:10 clock running and a 7-0 score. Face off to the left of Hobby. Lakers offensive zone face off brought to you by Riddles Jolie. Workus works down there, and against he finds teammate Merchant. Comes back out here for Petrodo. Petrodo feeds it right side for Worth. Worth looks out there and turn for Walla. Walla comes up with that loose puck. Walla puts a shot on, broken up, deflected up over the glass and out of play at 5:38.
And Walla happens to have a pretty good shot too, Jeff. Did you see that one?
Well, he has 6 goals and 15 assists. Dawson Worth now has 26 goals, 8 assists. Alex Petrodo has 7 goals and 10 assists in the game. I think I've missed a couple. Face off here is Farley. Faces off against Witt. Actually, it was Workus, beg your pardon. Comes back out here out front. This is Dunbar with the puck. Plays it right side here off a skate of a Laker. They'll play it off the boards. Dunbar knocks it down. Finds Petrick. Plays it back behind the net over there. Looks for Simmons. Simmons out there in the slot. Looks for a pass right side for Dunbar. Takes it back behind the net. Looks for a pass out front. Lakers get on it. Take a check merely, stepping around to check that time from Farley. Gets bumped off the puck. That, of course, is Bowling.
And we're going to get a penalty here.
I may have said Bowling in that. Yep, I was right.
That was Bowling.
Okay.
And we're going to have a penalty here. And that's going to be number 4.
Farley.
That's Farley. Farley and Bowling kind of got it into it down there, and there's going to be a roughing call, I believe, on Farley. .418, we have a running clock. It's not going to take long now. 4 minutes ticks off pretty quick with a running clock. as we have a power play here
McBride
for the
on the
Lakers.
Pelican Power Sports power play. And hole right out front was Boomsma. He fanned on a pass right out front. He would like that one back. And it comes out here for Witt. Chisholm is out there. Shot on that time. Hobby makes the save that time from Witt. Goes back behind the net. Lakers. Boomsma gets to it. Plays in the corner that time for Foley, who goes down to the heap, as does, of course, Brennan. Another whistle.
I didn't see what that one was. The puck was going down to the other end. And we're going to have another one on.
This will be Brannon.
Yeah, we're going to have another one here.
.340 to play in this hockey game.
So the clock continues to run, but
so
also
the Lakers will have a 5-on-3 advantage here. If you're down 7-0, why not pull a goalie?
Yeah.
Right? I've seen it done.
Jeff, wave to him. Get him out of there.
Pass comes back here, of course, for Boomsma. Well, make it 6-on-4, would it not? Boomsma along the near rail there, plays it back deeper. Getting out here is a man. That's Worth. Witt goes after that loose puck in his own zone. Worth provided a little pressure, now relaxes, and Witt will bring it up ice. 3:05. Cross ice pass comes off to Foley. Foley has it poked away, got it back. Leaves it in turn here for a teammate. That's McBride for Foley deep in the corner. Tries to go around Hansen. Can't do so. Comes back to McBride. McBride in the corner. 2:48 to play. Back over here for Witt. Witt gets to the puck. Plays it in the corner. Looking out front. Finds a man. Shot on. They score! They score. The Lakers make it 7-1. And it was Green that gets that goal at 2:34.
Pretty nice play by the Lakers there. Of course, they're a 5-on-3 that time. That helps. But set up really nice. A little cut down the middle by Green, and he puts it in.
His 11th goal of the year for Austin Green makes it 7-1. And now there's still a man in the penalty box, so the Lakers still 5-on-4. Picked up here, of course, they play it back rink wide. This is to Boomsma from Witt. Steps around to check there, plays it back. Long pass that time for McBride, picked up by Witt. Drop pass for Boomsma, picked up here by the Simmons of Rushmore. Knocked away that time by Foley. Takes away with 1.5 to play. Right side over there, picked up here by the Lakers. They dump it in the neutral zone. Rink wide pass too far, a little behind, of course. Mr. Allard dumps it back in that time, playing hard. Looks for a centering pass. Lakers couldn't control it. Picked up by McBride. Shot on the Kerms wide. With the puck right now, Witt plays in the corner. Centering pass, broken up, picked up here by the Rushmore Thunder. Thunder dump it down the ice. Back to get it will be McBride. 1:16 to play. Getting on it is Worth with the Lakers take it away. Pass right out here in the neutral zone. Merchant comes up with the puck. 2 goals so far in this game. Drop pass, shot on, goes a little bit wide. That was off Walla's stick. Walla with a minute to go in this hockey game. Centering pass, backhander by Merchant, and the save made by McBride. 37 stops for McBride in this game. 14 so far for Mr. Hobby.
I think Jeff, they're going to score that. I thought Owen had it too, but that was the score.
Oh.
So it's going to be 8-1. Of course, we didn't see the score. I can't tell you who it was, but it was a little backhand flip, and I thought Owen had it, and nobody really got excited. And the referees never really pointed much either, so I didn't even see it go in.
23 seconds, so 8-1 now. Face off Workus at center ice. Down there against Bartling.
Walla, is that what they said?
Merchant gets the goal, and Walla gets the assist as his horn sounds. So it'll be 37 saves total. 37 saves for Owen McBride, and 15 saves for Hobby in the game. Let's review the scoring a little bit and get you caught up. Didn't have all the.
That last one was a little tough. It was such a nonchalant shot that I didn't realize it even went in.
Yeah.
And Owen looked to me like he had it in his glove, and we just kind of let it get through there. I don't know how that happens, but Jeff and I were tangled up in cords like you wouldn't believe. I didn't know if we were going to get out of it.
Believe it. So that's okay.
But we're untangled now.
Let's see.
And Jeff's going to try to untangle this scoring mess.
All right. Well, it was the Rushmore's winning tonight 8-1, so they're now 13-0. They started the scoring in period number 1, breaking a scoreless tie at 9:34. It was Worth with a short-handed goal to give the Rushmores a 1-0 lead. They scored nearly 6 minutes, 6 minutes, 5 seconds later. Merchant, his first of a hat trick tonight, a power play goal, giving Rapid City, if you will, a 2-0 lead. Then the Rushmore scored 2 minutes, a minute 50 seconds later. It was Hollick with Farley and Dietrich assisting, giving the Rushmores a 3-0 lead after 1. They tacked on 3 more second period goals. It was Merchant with a second goal with Worth and Petrado assisting, giving the Rushmores a 4-0 lead at 15:04. Then Petrado, a power play goal for the Rushmores at 6:17. Worth, a power play goal with Dietrich and Hollick assisting for the Rushmores just a minute later to give the Rushmores then a 6-0 lead after 2 periods of play. They tack on 2 third period goals, Farley at 14:17, and then Watertown's Green, a power play goal at 2:34 left in the game, and then Merchant with another minute 29 to play with Walla assisting, giving the Rushmores an 8-1 lead and win in this hockey game. Saves in the contest on the night, 37 for Watertown, and of course that was for McBride, 15 for the Rushmores. Hobby does not get the shutout. He has 2 on the year. The Watertown Lakers make sure he doesn't get his 3rd of the season. So the same 2 teams will play again tomorrow. And our post-game show, of course, brought to you by Sharps Automotive. They do a great job out there, be it service, new vehicles, used vehicles. They have a great service staff. They also have great people to work with to help put you in a vehicle of your choice at Sharps, and they can also work with you as far as financing and things like that. They'll be open tomorrow, so stop out if you're looking for a vehicle and to check it out. Let's bring in the coach on our post-game show, brought to you by Sharps, and of course Evan Witt. Tough team. They really skate up and down the ice, don't they?
Yep, absolutely. You know, we talked about that a little bit before the game. You know, that's a team. They're not going to necessarily beat you with systems. They're going to beat you with hard work. They got some really fast guys. They work hard. They're physical. You know, really good hockey team.
How do you adjust to a team like that?
Well, by the look of the score, we haven't figured that out yet.
No, you've got all night. You've got tonight.
Yeah, we got all night. You know, it is really tough. It's one of those that, you know, you try to put a system in place where you try to keep them on the outside as much as possible, you know, especially when we have Owen back there, you know, so you try to limit the amount of opportunities that they have inside the kitchen. And again tonight, you know, I right offhand, what they have four or 5 power play goals.
Yeah.
You know, that doesn't help the situation when you can't stay out of the box. We talked about that before the game as well. But you knew it was going to be tough. I mean, that's a team that I can tell you that we haven't seen a team like that all year. They play a different brand than most of the other teams do. Like I said, they're super fast. They're physical on top of it. They do what we try to do, and you know, we're able to give some teams fits because that's how we play. They do it. They just do it at a different speed.
Jeff and I talked a little bit about that, you know, in the intermissions and so forth. You know, you always talk about the Brookings, you talk about Rushmore, and of course Owyhee. But this Rushmore team plays different than all those, just like you said, Coach. I mean, they're just straight up and down, and their vision is fantastic.
Yeah, like I said, they're at where kind of the style that we're trying to work towards. Like I said, they have another gear than we do, unfortunately, right now. Like I said, they are really fast, they are really physical, but you know, they do a really good job and they're consistent. And that's, you know, that was the big thing, you know. Too many pucks that were just thrown blindly, and a lot of that just comes from that pressure. But we've seen that on the other end, us give teams that maybe we shouldn't be as successful against that, we're successful doing that same thing. So it's they just do it really, really well.
So obviously you play these guys again tomorrow. So as a team, now you've seen them, you know what you have. So as a coach, when you sit down and you think about this and how do you get your guys ready for tomorrow, how do you combat a team with that much speed and that much vision and do so many things so well? So now what do you tell your players right now?
Freeze the puck up against the boards.
What's that line in Mighty Ducks? Take the fall accurate? No, we don't do that. We're gonna come out. We're gonna continue to work on our game. It's one of those that there was definitely parts of that game that we were competitive in. I thought the third period was definitely better than the second. Probably the worst part was really the second half of the first period. The first half of the first period, we were right there with them. Yep. So it's kind of building on those positives that we had. And like I said, ultimately trying to make as much of the game as we can competitive. We'll start with some different goals. And, the goals may not be to score 3-4 goals. It might be, this period we're going to have 5 really good forechecks that we can sustain for 30 seconds or longer. Start with the building blocks that create offense and things like that. In the defensive zone, really just cut down on breakdowns. That was the goals that they had set up were really, they could be marked to 1 or 2 guys maybe not doing their job. And it's just being disciplined in that. It's a really good team, but if we come out and if we can be consistent and do everything that we can definitely be more competitive with them tomorrow night, and that's going to be the goal. The big thing is if we can do that, trying to set up a springboard for the next week when we go out to Pierre.
Yeah, because you guys have Pierre after this weekend, so there's really nowhere to hide. Obviously, throughout this part of the season. But as a coach, you got to go out there and you say, guys, we're going to compete, and guess what? We can play with them if we do the things right that we're supposed to do. You can play with good teams.
Yeah, and we've shown that we definitely can play with good teams. We haven't really. Probably last week's Sioux Center might have been the closest thing to a 3-period game of hockey that we put together since I've been here. And so that's one thing that we struggle with. A little bit of that is, just this group of guys is not used to winning. They haven't seen a lot of wins in the past. And sometimes it's so easy, when things are going good, one good thing goes bad, and then it's like, oh, here we go again. Yeah. So we got to get the guys over that hump, and start seeing the positives, and just not laying down.
Yeah,
Coach, it's always a tall task, isn't it?
Yeah,
it is. Now you think about the next way to get your team back and so forth. But I agree with you. I think it's baby steps, one at a time, and you don't know how you can come out, and you never know how the puck's going to drop. That's why they continue to play the game. But it's a tough one. But your kids can play with a lot of really good teams in this league.
Yeah, we've shown that. And it, like I said, it's. That's what we're trying to build. I don't think there's anyone that thinks that we're there yet. And that's what these kids have to see is that we're working towards something bigger, and and some of it's individual, and some of it's team stuff, and some of it's organization stuff, and it's all working towards the big goal, big picture goals, and that isn't always the wins and loss columns. So you got to start somewhere, and a lot of times it's setting back and just starting with the basics and focusing on the small things.
You moved, of course, Foley from defense up.
Yep.
On a line. Talk a little bit about your thoughts behind that.
Ultimately, we were, when you look at it, and I mean, if you look at our stats over the state, we have one guy that's involved in more than over half our goals on the team. That the team scored. I think it was the only player in the state that could say that, and that's not really a testament to that player. I mean, it is a little bit, but ultimately, the story it told me is we're not getting enough scoring from some other lines. Yeah. Timmy brings a start. I call him Timmy.
Yeah,
his name's everyone knows that. I've called him Timmy since I started. But so Tommy, he has a great spark. And he's got some presence in front of the net, and he brings that. So it was one of those things where, like I said, we had to switch something up. You do the same thing over and over, and with the same results. You got to switch something up. You know, if it was something that I didn't think absolutely was not working, we'd probably change it back. But, you know, so far he's been doing a real good job. Ultimately, I don't think we've, you know, obviously it hurts a little bit not having him out of defense, but I think the pressure that he's rung, you could argue that we've been in the defensive zone probably less because of the pressure he brings in the offensive zone as a forward. So it's always that balancing act. You know, there's other kids that we could probably put in that spot, but you know, I actually gave him a hard time in between the second and third period. I'm like, now you know what it's like to play against you. I said, can you imagine if we had 20 Timmys? That's rapid. You know, Tommy, he's a really fast skater, really physical player, and brings that every time. And that's, you know, like I said, that rapid team is like having 20 Tommies.
I think you're right. And when you watch him play, he is that kind of player.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's a fantastic player. And you know what they always say in hockey: if you want to make a good forward, make him play defense.
Yeah.
Well, you make a number of changes like that during the year. The average fan might wonder why you do that, but every player has his strengths, be it right side, left side, with, you know, maybe a shot, that type of thing. You try to match it up so it works out well for everybody. Sometimes, and all good coaches will experiment during the course of the year.
Yeah, and sometimes, I mean, there's a lot more experiments that go on than people see. You know, sometimes it's 5 minutes into a practice going, oh, that was a bad idea.
I don't know why I did that.
Yeah, so there's a lot of those. You know, that one kind of stick. You know, and really a lot of that is a testament of Ethan Scott stepping up, and, you know, he's played really solid at defense. So, you know, if he wouldn't have been able to do that, we wouldn't have been able to afford to have Tom up front and lose him back on defense. So Ethan's really stepped up his game, and you know, has really stepped up to the challenge, and we really like what we see. And you know, and some of it is, you know, it's not about this week or next week. You know, some of it we got to look towards next year. You know, we lose a core group of guys next year, and we have to start thinking about, okay, what kind of situation are we left in? You know, and we've done some of those changes at the JV level as well. You know, in anticipation of, you know, there may be guys that could get a few shifts here and there, but you know, I'd rather run them hard and, you know, maybe switch some things up and give them a little bit more experience at JV. And a lot of that, we're going to rely on quite a few of those JV guys next year at varsity. So we've definitely made some moves there as well. You know, guys switching around and saying, hey, you know what, this might not be the best spot, and those kind of things. And ultimately, you know, you try to do what's best for the team, but, you know, it also comes down, it has to be what's good for the player too, and give those players their best opportunity for them to be successful as well.
It's a lot of moving parts.
A lot of moving parts. Yep.
As the season goes on, I think there's more.
Yeah, you know, it seems so. Yeah, at the beginning of the year, you sit down, you pencil it out, and you're like, oh, this is going to be great. This is going to be easy. Yeah,
and you see some of those players at JV or varsity that you see at the beginning of the year, and perhaps you don't see what you want to see out of them, but all of a sudden you get this time of year, and you look at this kid and say, this kid can play.
Yeah,
he wasn't doing that 4, 5, 6 weeks ago. He can now.
Yeah, no, there's always, you know, and there's the upsides and the downsides on that too.
Yeah.
You know, there's some kids that you expect to see a little bit more out of that you don't, and so you want to make sure that do I have them in the right role or not? And if not, maybe you put them somewhere else. But like I said too, you know, you start seeing a little spark out of a kid and say, hey, you know what? I bet you with this spark, maybe we give them this opportunity, and you try those things up as much as you can. Like I said, you know, obviously you don't want to do anything that's detrimental to the team, but you want to give the individual kids the best opportunity as well.
Those are the little things that keep you up at night.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that's where your brain is swirling. I bet about midnight. Those are the types of things when everybody else is sleeping. That's what the coach is thinking about.
Yeah, I'm sure there's been several times. I'm sure Lucas has woke up in the morning and seen a text at 3 o'clock in the morning or something, or Falk has seen a text and they're going, what was he thinking about that at 3 o'clock in the morning? It's one of those things. If I got an idea, I got to throw it out there right away. So.
Yeah. And if you know Lucas like you do, you could probably call him at midnight or a little after, and he'll answer.
Yeah, I try not to do that, because especially if it was at 3, I might try it, because then he might go to sleep. But otherwise, I'd be up till 3, from midnight to 3, talking to him.
I have to say that Lucas Deutsch and I have had a lot of conversations after midnight. In fact, that's when we had our best ones.
Yeah, there's a lot of times that practice gets done at 10:30 and it's 1 o'clock and we're finally deciding to leave the rink.
But it just tells you a little bit about what goes on behind the scenes from all the volunteers and the coaches and so forth. There's so much going into it, and there's a lot of heart and soul that goes into it, and a lot of sleepless nights. There really is.
Yeah, there really is. And you don't do it for the money.
No.
Let me tell you do it for the love of hockey and the love of coaching kids and things like that.
Right.
Because if you figure it out, you probably got 50 cents an hour.
Yeah, and like Coach says, you want to do the right thing for each individual kid. You want to do the right thing for the team itself, and it's so hard to do, and it keeps you up at night.
Yeah, that's right.
Absolutely.
Well, we'll go get them tomorrow.
Yep, sounds great. We'll
Sounds
be here.
good. Thanks, Evan.
Yep, thanks
Coach,
guys,
for everything.
Appreciate it. Yep.
Thank you. And again, 8-1 final score. We'll be back tomorrow. The girls play at 4:30 in the afternoon tomorrow. We'll bring you that game. Then, of course, we'll bring you the boys' game following at 8:30 tomorrow night. Stick it to Cancer Night. It's a special night, so you haven't been to a game all year, or you were here last weekend, come out again tomorrow. We'd like to fill the rink. We'd like to fill the stands. The kids would love it. Everybody else would love it. It's a very emotional night, and indeed, it goes for a great cause.
It does. And we do have to give a Subway player of the game.
Oh, yes, we do, don't we, now that I put my pen away.
And I had a couple kids kind of penciled in for this, Jeff, and I don't know what your thoughts are on it, but Coach Witt kind of solidified it for me. I think we're going to give the Subway player of the game to Ethan Scott. Ethan Scott's not always been the fastest player. Ethan's not always been the top player, but as Coach said, he has stepped in a big role to play defense, and it's allowed Tommy Foley to move some other guys around, but he's the puzzle piece that started it all off, and he plays with a lot of heart, and he's one of those kids that he's a junior, so they're looking for big things from him next year, and I just want to hand it to him, Subway player of the game, for that little role that he's starting to fill with this team.
All right, sounds great, and we look forward to tomorrow.
Yeah.
With a pair of games for you, and a big thanks to Kurt Crawford back at our studios. Things always go good when he's on the back of the studio. We appreciate that very much. He knows, and we thank him whenever we see him because he does a great job. Game tonight brought to you by Reliabank, Trav's Outfitter, Deutsche Excavating, New York Life. Carrie and Melissa Anderson, your agents. They're also good for investments. Also, Hanson Moran Eye Clinic, Riddles Jewelry, First Premier Bank Card. Of course, Pelican Power Sports. Also, Eastside Implement, they do a great job. Plus, of course, Sharps Automotive, Subway, our player of the game, plus State Farm Insurance, Pizza Ranch, Willie's, and Foley Law Office. We hope you can join us tomorrow about 4:15 with the first of two here at the Mace Ice Arena. We look forward to that broadcast tomorrow. Stick it to Cancer Night. It's all brought to you by Service Plus. So for Kurt back in our studios, for Jim Lloyd, Jeff Anderson saying thanks for tuning in. And we say good night from the Mace Ice Arena.
Good night.